Alrighty, let's freaking go. ARISHEM Anarchy is here. Holy moly, the long-awaited event of the week. Let's freaking go here with the GOAT himself. My Nakama, your Nakama, Parry is in the house. How we doing, Parry?
What's going on, Tuccrr? Good to see you, my friend. I have been waiting for this all week. I got practice in yesterday. I was getting the voice all warmed up, ready to go, brushing off the old commentary skills, and I am ready to see some anarchy.
Yeah, it is going to be absolutely incredible. We have some amazing, and I mean absolutely amazing competitors here today. We got Miss Wolf, Loopy Fist, Sal, Helkin, Dragon, Chaos Pro, Gregor, C, Nick the Greek Geek, Lokester, Sino, Whitewind Brady, Robo, Not My Dance, and the Golden Goose himself, PWROn, Pershizi. Let's freaking go. I'm excited.
It's going to be a good time. Lots of great competitors. 8 from the Kingdom, 8 from PWROn Gaming. Who is going to come out on top? We're going to be getting started in just a couple minutes here with our first match of the day. This is a 16-person invitational tournament. The rules are you must have ARISHEM in your deck. All deck lists were submitted ahead of time, so there's going to be no counter picking, no changing it up. It is what you brought, and you are locked into that deck for the whole tournament.
It's going to be excited. How have you been feeling about ARISHEM so far, Parry?
I have not had so much fun with a card in a long, long time. He seems to have breathed a fresh life into Marvel Snap to just have such an entirely different way of playing the game. That extra energy really does make a difference. Those random cards make the game so unpredictable, so wild. I just posted a clip on my Twitter yesterday of one of the most insane endings to a game I've ever seen. Pure RNG chaos. So if you guys are here for some wild, chaotic anarchy plays, you have come to the right place.
It is going to be freaking incredible. I think we've all been waiting for a draft mode, and we kind of got a draft mode in a sense. So it's going to be really interesting to see in these matchups too, how many cards people have in their list that is going to be similar. What is going to be that key card someone brings in that actually puts more value into their deck opposed to their opponents? Maybe they have the right counter. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're running something that no one even thought of, which could actually bring more, intuitiveness to these ARISHEM lists. I'm very excited.
All right, so we're going to find out just in a moment here. We're getting started with our first match of the evening. It's going to be Whitewind Brady up against Lil Robitussin, so a little PWROn friendly here. Let's get into the match. We have the Whitewind Brady on the top of your screen there. You'll see his hand, but we are broadcasting Lil Robitussin's screen, and you see his hand down there at the bottom of your screen as well. So our first location here, Lake Hellas. Second location, Kiln. I know we've had some mispronunciations of that location in previous tournaments, but it is indeed Kiln, not Kylan or anything else like that. And Roby going down, throwing the Kyera down here. Brady playing Uatu, very interesting card choice. That is not ARISHEM generated, that is in his deck. What do you think about Uatu in ARISHEM?
I think Uatu is very interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily something I would tech into my list overall, but if it works out and you can get that head start on knowing what where the location is, it's going to be freaking incredible. So I think tournament setting, it makes more sense, but maybe not ladder setting, but who knows?
For sure. I think in ARISHEM Mirror, it is an interesting choice for sure. The idea behind it, doing a little scouting beforehand, talking to Brady about his inclusion of Uatu. The idea is you don't want to draw him. You get the value from him by having him in the deck. You don't necessarily need him in your hand, but having the value of knowing what that third location can sometimes win you a game. In this case, not too much value, just some stats on the board. And we have our first snap of the tournament here. I believe that was Roby snapping.
Yeah, I believe that was a Roby snap. And I want to mention here, of the draws so far, Brady has gotten 4 out of 6 of his cards to be his own, not ARISHEM draws, which is kind of crazy.
That is a huge advantage. Perhaps that was Brady snapping then, because he does have the Dark Hawk coming down here. We're going to be seeing a lot of the Hawk this tournament. That is one of the hard counters to ARISHEM. Of course, seeing this is an entirely ARISHEM tournament, you're going to want to run that Hawk there.
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting play by Roby. I don't know if I would go for the Shang this early, actually. Maybe I would do a Rogue instead, but...
Well, if he doesn't do it now, he's not going to be able to do it on that Dark Hawk because of the War Machine. So he is trying to take advantage here. Brady with priority, though, he could wind up Exactly that. Task
Ooh.
another huge body on the board. So mid is lost, but he does have that 33 power Taskmaster on the right side.
This is going to be very interesting. I mean, we do have the Blob in play. We have a 3-powered Red Hulk now in hand.
Yeah, not the best bass there on Roby's part, but he's not going for the Red Hulk at this point. It looks like he's going to go for the Blob line here on the left. Looks like he's trying to give up right there, not going to compete with that Taskmaster. Will this go out for 4 cubes on our first game of the evening? Brady with priority. He might see it coming here. He's got that Cosmo locked and loaded, ready to go. That could do it for him. Let's see if he makes the right play.
Oh my gosh, this setup by Brady is actually incredible. I don't
Wow.
think Blob gets big enough here. I'll be honest.
So he goes for the Cosmo right instead of left. The Blob is not going to be able to reach the level of Absorbing Man. And there you go. Right off the bat, 4 cubes to White Wayne Brady. That is his combo here. The Darkhawk Taskmaster Absorbing Man to get 3 huge bodies on the board. Roby not ready for it. And we go on to the second round here.
That's actually really incredible. I think the combo he has too with the Absorbment and Mystique is also something you can do with the Blob. So you can do it in so many different ways. The tech that Brady's bringing is incredible.
Lots of great tech there with the Absorbing Man. You can also go for a rogue play on your opponent's Blob or Darkhawk, then go with an Absorbing Man or a Mystique afterwards. Lots of options and flexibility if you get the right draws. Now, total opposite from this game, Brady's got none of his original cards in hand, all ARISHEM cards here, whereas Roby looking pretty strong with She-Hulk and Hulk already in hand.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. Roby can really take advantage of skipping on energy now too to get the Hulk buff as well as the She-Hulk discount, and he gets the Kyera top deck. Oh, this looks pretty freaking juicy for the Tussin.
Definitely strong start here for Roby, bouncing back after that 4-cube loss in that first round. He's got the Kyera down. Quake not doing too much for Brady there. He doesn't know what that final location is, so he does have a bit of an advantage on the Abbey to try and draw that extra card. But again, not a whole lot going on Brady's side here.
Yeah, and does Robo play for middle location here, knowing that Brady can get the draw here from the Abbey, drawing 2 of his cards within these next, like, I guess, turn, which actually kind of gives him more of an advantage, I'd say, than Roby just having the Kyera in the middle, but it's going to be interesting. Oh, he does go for the draw, too.
Brady getting the Abbey draw there, going for an Absorbing Man on Quake. I don't know if that was the right play, especially considering he just top-decked the Blob there, so he's not going to be able to pull off of that particular combo. But he did want that card draw.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Ooh. And he does get the Blob. He said we do have a high Evo into Misty. He throws the Misty down first instead of the high Evo, so he doesn't get the Misty value going forward.
No, but he's fishing for something out of the Lockjaw there. I've seen a few builds are floating around with ARISHEM running the Lockjaw. I don't know how I feel about that. Seems like a bit too much randomness for my liking, but let's see what he gets here. And there you go. I'll eat my words immediately, Tuccrr. Pulling out a Blob out of nowhere.
Oh my word. That's actually freaking incredible. Not to mention, though, the Cersei pull getting an arrow and a Nocturne is also really solid for Brady, being able to move around here. Kyera is down, so Blob can't get destroyed. But
Blob is looking safe right now. Roby goes for the snap. Now, Blob is still able to get rogued. The Kyera will not protect the Blob from a rogue, but the rogue will also not remove the Blob's power. The Blob will still have his power. He just won't have the ongoing ability of not being able to be moved anymore. You don't see that come into play too often these days without Cannonball being so prevalent, Stegron, other cards like that. So Roby goes for the snap here. He's feeling pretty strong. Brady accepts it and throws down his own Blob mid here. Only a 15 power Blob. He gets the +3 from the Ant Maze, but he doesn't move. Again, Blob's ability coming into play there after I just said it doesn't usually come into play. Classic Parry move there.
This is interesting too. We do have the Hulk and She-Hulk play because Robo full floated. Is it going to be a Taskmaster 50-50 here, or what are we doing? Oh, Robo was going to do Lockjaw She-Hulk.
I didn't see Brady's hand. Did he happen to draw the Taskmaster?
He does have the Taskmaster here.
Okay. So it's going to be an 18 power Taskmaster. Question is, where are they going to be played? Roby's looking pretty strong on the left side, so I don't think Brady's going to go after left. Will the Hulk mid be enough? So just so you guys know, we're also running some giveaways at this event. We'll get to that after this turn finishes here. Taskmaster on the right, absorbing the blob's power. Roby attacking the right side. It's not going to be enough. Another 4 cubes in Brady's favor there. He should have gone mid. But the Mockingbird coming down there for Brady helps secure the middle lane as well as the Taskmaster. A very steep hill to climb here for Roby.
The soul read, I would have to say, by Brady there, going all in far right. Oh my word. Robo had it actually perfect if he had actually played the way he was trying to originally with just the Hulk and She-Hulk in the middle, but...
That's the thing in these tournament settings sometimes, Tucker. The pressure can get to you. You overthink. Typically, your first play is your right play. Snap in here just to get that extra cube in. Doesn't have to do this because we're not in the high stakes rounds yet, so he would be able to retreat for 1 cube to live to fight another day, but forcing the snap here, locked in for 2. This could be Roby's last leg.
Oh yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Never put Tussin in the corner, but I'm hoping to see what happens here. Oh my goodness.
So going back to what we were just saying earlier, we are running a giveaway. We're going to be giving away some season passes as well as some Untapped premium subscriptions. Shout outs to the folks at Untapped for providing us with 8 codes to give away today. Lots of great stuff there on Untapped Premium. Some advanced stats for all you nerds out there who love your numbers. We're not about that here, Tucker. We're about the hype. We're about the feelings, the passion of the game. What's the word I'm looking for? Chaos.
The anarchy.
Oh, there it is. Anarchy. Anarchy. That's right. That's what we're about here. But if you guys are interested in leveling up your game, untapped.gg, a great partner in this tournament. We're going to be giving away some of those codes later on, so stick around for that. Roby dropping the Jean Grey here on the right location, potentially going to be disrupting Brady's plays, especially with that Miss Marvel down. We have no huge cards here. Roby's got the Blob waiting in hand. That's about it. Brady there with the Shang-Chi to answer some things, but he's got the Cosmo down early as well. So it's all going to be about placement here.
Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Robo does, like you say, he has a blob, and it's not his own blob. The Red Guardian on curve, also hitting the debris there.
Oh, I think Brady was aiming for that Jean Grey, but unfortunately didn't get it here with the debris coming down. Yep, there's the emote from Brady. He was not looking forward to hitting that debris.
Oh, and this top deck by Robo, though, the Red Hulk, if Brady's not able to spend all of his energy as well, is going to be really solid here.
So Blob's coming down. Will he get... Oh, he gets pretty big there, but a
boy.
Soul Read Shang-Chi on the Blob. I mean, I guess it's not a Soul Read if you know you're playing in the Jean lane, right? But very good tempo play there from Brady. Let's see how New York influences this year. How do you feel about New York as a location? Not an actual real location, Tucker, but in the game.
In the game, like, honestly, we're talking about tournament setting here. Every single time there's a New York on the map, I'm always considering, is my opponent going to move this? What can they play here? And it's literally a mind-boggling experience. So having this like this right now, I can't even imagine what we're thinking right now with 2 cubes on the line.
Especially with the Jean Grey here, you're able to manipulate the board a little bit so you don't necessarily have to play in that Jean Grey lane. That's exactly what Brady does. Moves the Cosmo over to the right, plays 2 cards. One is Magneto, moving some power off Nidavellir, as well as New York. He's going to win left with the Magneto play. Hawkeye coming down mid. The Red Hulk on the right is enough for Roby, and the Kyera mid is going to take it. Roby stays alive, taking 2 cubes off Brady there.
I was going to say, the Cosmo move onto New York was interesting in order to maybe stop another blob play, but it does take away the 5 power that you get from the Miss Marvel, which actually would have won that location possibly for Brady if he had done something else.
Very true there. But that is the mind games when it comes to New York. You never know what's going to wind up over there. You have to keep in mind your Miss Marvel, making sure you have the right costs and the right locations. And now we are moving on to the next round. We are still not in the high stakes round yet, so Roby does have that option to retreat for 1, but no snaps just yet. Angela coming down on Baxter Building here. So I learned this recently, Tucker. Did you know that Baxter Building, if you play on Baxter Building and you're winning the location, that little light there that you see under the word Baxter is going to be blue if you're winning, but if you're losing that location, it actually turns to red.
I did not know that. That's actually a very, very awesome visual effect they added over here.
That's to Call Me Sal for teaching me that. I learned that not too long ago based on Sal's observation. We might be seeing him later in the tournament here. He should be playing his match off stream right now. Okay, never mind. Just hearing that Sal has actually been eliminated already, so I am just batting 1,000 here on my my analysis so far. So, Sal RIP, PWROn zone. Helkin advances. Do we have any other results that we should be aware of so far?
That's the only result we have so far.
Sal and Helkin, I guess, snapped for 8 immediately, and that is how the cookie crumbles. Helkin in chat saying, me and Sal, samurai duel. Okay. Well, Sal is out, but Roby and Brady are still in here. We have the Darkhawk coming down from Brady. There you go. That light is red now. Brady taking over Baxter Building, getting that extra 4 power on all other locations.
And this is going to be interesting. I don't necessarily like Robo's hand here. I don't know, going into this turn 5, if I actually would stick it out here, or if I would maybe go for a retreat, because I think this is a pretty snappable moment for Brady. I think
Brady looking quite strong here.
Yeah, is really solid. Of course, this is us looking into it from our POV that Brady looks really strong, but it's looking just better for Brady over here.
So what I see Roby trying to do here is stacking the right side. I'm guessing trying to get some extra Kunlun value with those cards moving. If they do move to that middle location, they'll get that +2 power. But he opts to go for the Hulk mid instead. Blob on the right, so Blob will not move again with the Strange Academy. He will stay right there. All the other cards wind up moving, and they all go to Kunlun. Look at that. So buffs across the board there. Blob stays still. We're going into the final turn. Roby with not a whole lot in his hand here. He can get some extra value from the Warpath, but it's probably not going to be enough. Does he go for the surprise Heimdall play here? Even if he does, I don't think that's going to be enough.
With the surprise Heimdall, though?
He'd be moving the Hulk and the Strong Guy to the left, so that's going to be a 23 power swing on the left side, so he would be up to 30. He won't get the Angela proc. He's not going to get the Hulk growing either. He's not going to get the Strong Guy buff here because he won't have 1 card or less in his hand. I think this is probably a retreat for Roby.
Yeah, this looks like a retreat. We do not have the tempo here to win this game right now, and we're 2 cubes on the line. If we do lose in a even 50-50 situation, I think it's safer to just get out of here. And
it does seem he's going that way. He's reconsidering. He's taking the time, which is a smart play here. If he goes for the Heimdall here, he's going to get the Angela proc, so that's 1 extra energy. So we would have 9 plus 7, 16, 17, moving the Hulk over, 30. Oh, he's going for it. Here we go.
Oh, my word.
Did he find the answer here? I don't know if this is going to be enough.
It's going to be close.
He gets the proc. The Baxter Building doesn't give extra energy because he's not winning. Even if it did, I don't think it mattered. That probably should have been a retreat from Roby, but that is how it ends. White Wayne Brady taken it.
All right.
There we go. We have 2 results in already. We have Helkin defeating Sal off stream, and as you just saw there, Lil Robitussin out. White Wayne Brady advances to the next round.
This is crazy. I think there's a lot of these situations, like I think us looking at it as a commentator is definitely different than maybe the player itself thinking there's actually no way to do this. But like the mental thing too, I think there's certain instances that maybe if he had actually not played the Angel there, he could have gotten extra value on the Hulk as well as the Misty proc. But I still don't think that was actually enough to pull through entirely.
Yeah, he would have gotten that extra 4 power in the middle location and the right location, but again, he still needed a bit more to beat what Brady had on the board there. Very strong play from Brady starting off. Personally, my Darkhawk pick to win. Dark Horse pick, but I guess Darkhawk pick also works pretty well, right? Dark Horse to win the tournament. I have been playing against him off stream. Again, he's got some crazy good brews that you would look at from the outside and be like, I don't know if this works. This seems a little weird. But Brady is a bit of a mad scientist, and he's able to make them work for him. So Brady taking game 1 over here. We are getting our next match set up. How are you liking what we've seen so far, Tucker?
I'm liking it a lot. And I think one of the main things, like you said, since Brady had also practiced a lot with his list, he got really comfortable with it. And like when it comes to like a lot of this experimenting and like going into tournament settings, being comfortable with this, knowing your snapping points is the most important thing to do. And getting those reps in and playing deck lists that people are like, wait, why are you doing this? And you know exactly why you're doing it. It's how you win games. Like you see that in all sorts of conquests. You see it on ladder. It's crazy.
I often say one of the strongest things in Marvel Snap is fear of the unknown. There are so many. One of the downsides to having such a set meta or a pocket meta, whatever you want to call it, knowing what the top decks are, because there's only 12 cards in the deck, typically you know what your opponent's going to be playing in those later turns. So when you don't know what your opponent's going to be doing, there is such an added level of anxiety because it could be anything. And especially in a tournament like this where you legitimately don't know what's coming because of how random these cards are, that is making snapping and retreating all the more important.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right.
why, like, yep.
So our next match here is going to be Mrs. Wolf up against Loopy Fist. So we have a bit of a Kingdom versus PWROn matchup here. Previous match was both PWROn members. We have a mix of Kingdom and PWROn happening this time, and we're going to be getting that ready for you in just a moment here.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting.
There it is.
The animation. I can't get over the ARISHEM animation, man. It is so incredible.
It kind of makes all the other ones pale in comparison now. Like you see the Thanos animation, the high Evo, all that stuff. You're like, damn, why didn't they get this love that ARISHEM got? But maybe in the future we'll see some updates to some of the visuals. So here we go. Starting the match, we have 2 Darkhawks in hand already. So this is going to be a battle of the Hawk.
Battle of the freaking Hawks, man. I think it's really interesting to see how prevalent Darkhawk is even more. I feel like even before ARISHEM came out, we were all prepping for it. But now in actuality, seeing it even more now, it's like, okay, it's just everywhere.
Especially in these mirror matches where you know your opponent's going to be playing ARISHEM, so you know you're getting that Darkhawk value. It's a little less valuable running Darkhawk when you are playing against other people. It's kind of just an average card. Playing him on turn 4 doesn't feel as bad as playing him on turn 5. But you're not going to get these crazy stats that you see here, 40 power Darkhawks.
Yeah, and I think I've ran into a couple instances too where people are playing Thanos and ARISHEM at the same time, and it is the biggest Darkhawks I think I have ever seen. Even it's just I don't know how to explain how this is a Hawk Tua,
There it is.
Right?
I was curious when it would happen. I was going to do it, but I was like, you know what? Let me refrain here. It's the easy joke, but here we go. We have a snap coming in. We have Mrs. Wolf on the top hand. By the way, we were watching Loopy Fist gameplay. It looks like Loopy made the snap there, snapping on the Storm on the left location. Interesting call here. Nope, he's switching it up. Looks like he might be going Storm right now. Weighing his options.
Ooh,
okay.
Maximizing Medusa now. Okay.
Double Medusa proc on the Kamar Taj would be interesting. But he's got extra energy because of the Tinkerer's Workshop too. How is he going to spend it? Locked it in. Here we go.
Ooh, cheeky.
Mrs. Wolf dropping the Annihilus there, sending the Ninja over. So Loopy looking a bit locked up on the left side there. Not too much space to play with, especially with the flooding location coming down now. Board space going to be an issue for Loopy.
Ooh.
So it looks like he's going to drop the Darkhawk on the right side here. That would be a pretty strong play. Will Mrs. Wolf do the same? We're about to find out here. Darkhawk v. Darkhawk. And there it is.
Boy. Oh, here we go.
So if we don't see any blobs in play, this is looking like Mrs. Wolf is going to have control over that right location. A couple more cards in Loopy's deck compared to Mrs. Wolf's deck because of the Nico draw too.
Which was an incredible, actually, first turn for Mrs. Wolf to get that extra Darkhawk value. So
extra Darkhawk value, you always want to be drawing cards with ARISHEM because you do have that extra energy. And we are going to see a Cersei play. So if Anarchy wasn't enough, here comes some more. Let's see what Cersei can do here. Ravonna, MM, and Scorpion. Okay, decent value out of that Cersei there. Very winnable on the left for Mrs. Wolf.
If Mrs. Wolf just drops a blob here, even more winnable, especially with the cards Loopy has in play.
I think Loopy might have... Well, let's see. I didn't see what was in Mrs. Wolf's hand, but that double Stegron could have been pretty nasty to win mid.
Well,
But-
a double Stegron doesn't get bigger than the double Blob, I don't think.
No, it certainly doesn't. And again, that blob would not move with the Stegron hitting it, so it would stay there. Smart retreat there from Loopy. Only 2 cubes down. And we are moving on to the next round here.
We got a good start for both players actually having Quinjets in hand. So this is going to be a very crazy round.
So I have been partaking in some conversations regarding Quinjet, Tucker.
Okay.
I've been a bit vocal about not thinking Quinjet is necessary in ARISHEM decks. What are your thoughts on Quinjet? Do you think it's too greedy? Do you think it is mandatory? Do you think it depends on the build?
I think it depends on the build, and I think with a lot of these iterations where people are running Loki, it makes a lot of sense to incorporate that with the synergy. And I think getting a Quinjet does feel really good into a lot of these ARISHEM lists because you don't necessarily know what you're drawing. But at the same time, there's also the situation where, yes, I have Quinjet down, but I can't play any of these cards because I just have a bricked hand. But I think it's really just because of how dependent we are on Loki right now, it makes sense that people are incorporating Quinjet, but it's not a necessity.
And speaking of Loki, one of the cards that I'm surprised we haven't seen more of just got generated there in Loopy Fist's hand. Mobius M. Mobius, shutting down the Quinjet, shutting down the Loki, shutting down the Mockingbird, another card that is making its way into a lot of ARISHEM lists because of all of those cards that don't start in your deck. Speak of the devil, the Mockingbird does come down before the Mobius does, so good foresight there on Mrs. Wolf to get that Mockingbird out early.
Oh, and this is going to be interesting too. I think Mockingbird is the card you have to auto-include, though, into ARISHEM. I think it makes the most reasonable sense.
Absolutely. Just value. And speaking of Loki, we do have Loopy drawing the Loki here. Got a very good hand, though, with the Darkhawk Mystique, so I don't think we're going to see him play it. Opting for the White Queen instead, a card we don't see very often. Generated from the Agent Coulson, and look at that, taking the Blob. Now, it doesn't actually take the Blob, it just makes a copy of it. But
that
we
intel
do have,
is vital.
Yes, vital intel, knowing that Mrs. Wolf does indeed have the Blob in hand. So Loopy with a whole lot of weapons to use in his arsenal here. Let's see what he winds up going with.
With the Darkhawk in hand, Mystique in hand, Blob in hand, he can go literally, like you said, at least 2 or 3 different ways.
Through the roof, but you have to be careful here. We do have that extra turn because of Limbo, so it's a matter of when do you want to play your Darkhawk, when do you want to play your Blob, do you want to try and bait out a Shang-Chi now, do you want to try and throw priority? This is where you see the mind games of these decks really coming into play. No snaps just yet either.
And we also do have another result coming in from one of our other matches. PWROn versus Not My Dance. Winner is PWROn.
PWROn advancing to the next round. PWROn has been on the unfortunate end of some tournament results lately. Most recently in the Juneteenth tournament against Gaming with Flash X, one of the most legendary snap matches we've seen so far. If you guys haven't seen that, make sure to go check out those videos on their respective channels. But for now, we have a double Darkhawk coming down. Again, we have a slight advantage here on Loopy's side because of the Muir Island buffing the Darkhawk, but they are equal in deck size at the moment. So now it's going to be interesting here. Does Loopy go for the Mystique and the Shang-Chi now without priority? Mrs. Wolf has the priority here, so we know that Mrs. Wolf has... We know that Loopy knows that Mrs. Wolf has a Blob. We don't know if Mrs. Wolf has a Mystique. So we're going to be wondering here what Loopy can do. And we just had another result come in. I didn't catch that, though, if you wouldn't mind repeating, Boss Man. Okay, so we have another result coming in. Sino Montana, top 5 Marvel Snappers in the world, winds up defeating Lokester and advances to the next round.
And if we do this the right way here, the way that Miss Wolf is playing her turn, if this Shang-Chi comes down on the Darkhawk, it is going to be very interesting to see what Loopy does to retaliate here. I saw he was thinking potentially a Mystique middle, which would be nothing if he does the Mystique middle. But Blob right is actually incredible if we can get the... Oh, yeah.
All right, so the Shang-Chi comes down from Mrs. Wolf, expecting a Mystique here. Loopy opts to go for the Blob instead. This Darkhawk is going to shrink massively as Loopy eats up the remainder of his deck. That Hawk is getting tiny. Reduced all the way down to his base power of just 3. No threat there. Right looking very strong for Loopy. But how is he going to win the other lane? He's got some options in hand here. Mrs. Wolf on the other side, not many options given the hand. A lot of ARISHEM cards. Let's see how she counters here.
It's going to be really interesting to see how big her blob gets opposed to Loopy's on the right.
Here we go. Can it beat 120? Not off to the best start there with 18. Second one better. 37. That's pretty good. 39. It's going to be close.
Oh my gosh!
No cards left.
Oh, and the cannonball value here on the left is crazy for Loopy. Wow.
Punched out of existence. Loopy gonna take it there. No snaps, so just 2 cubes, but a nice win there for Loopy. The blobs were eaten good tonight.
Oh my word. Miss Wolf ran out of cards in her deck. That's why her blob did not go off in the very end over there, which means blob was eating too much for her.
Some good eats there. Thanksgiving dinner for these blobs. Stuff in their faces. All right, moving on to the next round. Still not in high stakes just yet, so we have the 1 cube on the line and a whole bunch of ARISHEM cards in hand for both players here, including the big bread man himself.
I'd say both players only drew their ARISHEM as their card, so this is going to be an interesting start.
Getting some Mirage value there from Mrs. Wolf, stealing the Super Giant, giving it +2 power. Loopy getting Agent Coulson, but not playing it just yet. Doesn't want to brick his hand. Still wants to try and draw into one of those key cards that you need to win these mirror matches. Does not, though.
Ooh, this is interesting. This would be the perfect moment for Loki to show himself because he
that
can't
hand is
play
stuffed.
this.
Exactly.
Ooh,
again,
Mockingbird.
The tempo Mockingbird. I think that is the smart play, especially if there are Mobii floating around.
It looks like we got results from our another match over here where we had Chaos Pro versus Dragon, winner being Chaos Pro.
Wow, Chaos Pro taking it. Another one for the Kingdom there.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Oh, boy. Oh, whoa, double Doc Ock here. Hold up.
Double Doc Ock. So we have Loopy playing the Doc Ock. A 2-card Loki, not ideal. Leader getting no value. Decent Doom value here, but the board space at a minimum for Loopy. And what is his pull? The Super Giant and the Sarah. So a slight advantage there in the middle location for Loopy. Right looking winnable for Mrs. Wolf. We have 2 turns left. We have discounted cards. How are we going to finish this game here?
And these cards also don't activate until final turn here because of the Super Giant pool.
That is true. Both Super Giants on board. Doesn't make a difference with 1 or 2 being played, but these cards, again, will not reveal till the end of the game, as Tuccrr just said there. By the way, guys, if you want to get into that giveaway, it is hashtag PWRON, PWRON, to get into the giveaways we're doing today. Make sure you get in there and get that free stuff.
Lots of great free stuff, too. You guys want to be able to check your stats?
Check those stats, baby. See how popular ARISHEM is. Should you be running Loki, Mockingbird, Shang-Chi Rogue? You'll find all that information out and more with Untapped Premium.
Which all those cards right now are above 40% usage, by the way, in the game.
Oh, yeah. We're seeing a lot of those cards right now. Didn't see what Mrs. Wolf played down there on the Super Giant, but it looks like she's going to go for the retreat. Very bad draws here from Mrs. Wolf. Not a whole lot going for Loopy either, so we'll see how confident he feels.
It was an ARISHEM she played down on the right.
Thank you for that. So still losing right, even with the ARISHEM. Looking pretty solid here for Loopy.
Yeah, Loopy wins actually all locations here. Because, yeah, like you said, the draws that Miss Wolf got were Spider-Man gets no utility either because oh, we got the draws over here on the right, and then if she'd even flip stuff over, you'd see the whole entire board is full.
Wow, Loopy not feeling confident and winds up retreating. So a push there. No cubes lost. Both players retreating. Surprising outcome there.
Doc Ock diff, bro. It's everyone. Doc Ock either loses you games or gives you situations like that where he can actually give you just a win once or twice.
But there is one thing Doc Ock always does, Tuccrr.
Pull Shang-Chi.
There it is.
Yes.
If he's in your hand, he is getting pulled by that Doc. That is just one of those unwritten rules of Snap. If Shang-Chi's in your hand, Doc Ock's pulling it. If you play Corvus and Hela's in your hand, she's getting discarded. We all know those interactions if we played enough Snap.
We just got a better White Palace, honestly, for Mrs. Wolf over here because she got the Cersei, whereas Loopy Fist got her ARISHEM. So this is going to be very, very cheeky to see what happens over here.
Yes. Turn 2, Fastos here from Miss Wolf. Some very good value on that card. Going to be getting at least 4 draws with either -1 cost or +2 power from the toes.
Oh my, and it is a Darkhawk, and we get an auto-generated ARISHEM for Loopy, so he's got 2 ARISHEMs in his hand now.
Effectively 2 dead cards. 7 stats is decent, but generally speaking, you don't want to see that card on the board. Not great value at that 7 cost there. However, I don't know if you noticed this, Tuccrr, but both players have a Super Scroll in hand. Super Scroll, one of these sneaky cards in these ARISHEM tournaments that can go a long way with all the Darkhawks running around.
I was about to say, and if Loopy Fist does not draw his Darkhawk, he will actually get more immediate value with his Super Scroll than Miss Wolf will.
Yes, we see that Miss Wolf just top decked the Darkhawk here. Looks like she's going to play the Super Scroll, possibly as a deterrent for Loopy's Darkhawk, but we don't see the Darkhawk just yet on Loopy's side.
And the other crazy thing is, too, that Loopy does have his Rogue in hand. So that also could pay some dividends here on some of these later turns if there is no Shang-Chi.
Yep, it's just counter, counter, counter. Who will land the last counter blow? The snap stays. I didn't see who snapped there. I think it was Loopy.
Maybe Miss Wolf with the Super Scroll.
Could have been Mrs. Wolf.
Ooh.
So we got a free Quinjet here from the Fastos. Again, a bit late for the Quinjet, but still worth playing for free, I suppose. Loopy going to go for more Anarchy, dropping the Cersei on the left here. That Venom gets upgraded to an Absman. Ooh, some Lady Deathstrike value there.
This might be one of the first instances we do see a Loki by a player from this tournament so far, depending on what Loopy decides to do with this top deck of Mockingbird.
So he's not going to have enough energy to do Mockingbird and Loki. Will he opt to go for the Bird and perhaps the Rogue on the Super Scroll? That might be a pretty solid choice. Deterring a Darkhawk play from Mrs. Wolf. Again, he does have his own Super Scroll, but the Rogue is cheaper in that regard. That's probably what I would do. What would you do here, Tuccrr?
I would either do the Super Scroll or the Quinjet. If I had had a better hand, I would have done Quinjet, but I think like what you're saying, I think the Super Scroll Rogue makes more sense. Yeah.
Not
well,
Quinjet.
I mean, I'm saying like I would have rogued the Quinjet if I had a better hand. But since it is Super Scroll, I think roguing the Super Scroll makes more sense.
So the Hawk comes down. Loopy does not reveal the the Rogue just yet. Instead, just goes Mockingbird, but still has priority here going into the final turn. And there it is. The Rogue Super Scroll combo.
Oh my, this is cheeky.
This could be pretty big for Loopy.
Because the way this interacts too, this means that Loopy is going to have 2 Darkhawks on the board that Miss Wolf does not know about just yet.
Yes, Super Scroll does not eliminate the opponent's Darkhawk. Super Scroll just copies the ongoing abilities of your opponent there, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Down goes the Scroll, and another taking the Darkhawk's power. Lob does reduce those Hawks a little bit, but it's not going to be enough for Mrs. Wolf. Loopy going to take 4 cubes there on the double Scroll play.
And honestly, it was so much better for him to have waited for that Rogue, like you were saying too. It just made so much more sense for the double Super Scroll interaction too, for both them to get that from ARISHEM. And it literally was whoever reveals it first is the one who gets to take the play.
Yep. Sometimes you got to hold those key counter cards till the very last moment to get maximum value on your cubes there. If that happened the previous turn, Mrs. Wolf probably would have retreated. Loopy would have only got 2 cubes instead of 4 there. But instead, his patience pays off. Excuse me.
It's like the saying says, you got to know when to hold them, you got to know when to fold them.
We have our producer in ear telling us that we should have said anarchy when we had the 4 blobs there, but we'll get it next time. The tournament is still young, folks. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more crazy stuff happening this tournament here.
Goodness.
All right, so the Nocturne comes down, getting the buff from Shuri's lab. We're going to see some big power if that lab winds up staying as it is.
Oh my word. And honestly, the rock slide here is pretty solid from Loopy to deter any potential draws. But will we see a Fastos to get some either 0 cost rocks or 2 powered rocks?
Rock value, and they get even more value if you play them in that middle location there, Tuccrr. An extra 4 power for those rocks, perhaps.
We get our first Loki of the tournament as well with a Quinjet.
Wow, huge value.
Boy.
Getting the Darkhawk there. Huge value for Loopy from that Loki.
Oh, this is disgusting.
So Loopy going with the Quinjet here. Is it worth playing the Fastos with just 2 turns left? It is still decent value. Not a whole lot else going on. Maybe the Sunspot could be some consideration. Floating some of that energy. You definitely want to save that Darkhawk, I'm thinking.
I was about to say, not knowing if Miss Wolf has a Shang-Chi in hand or not, you definitely want to keep that in mind. Showing as the least amount of Loki cards as possible is definitely probably the idea here.
Okay, Mrs. Wolf just throwing down the Sarah. Cost reduction on top of cost reduction. Loopy goes for the Fastos and the Sunspot here, floating up that energy. Priority in Loopy's favor going into turn number 5. Wow, some good value there on the Iron Man, getting that +2 from the Fastos.
On the Shuri's lab as well, so whatever comes down is going to get doubled, and then doubled again. We got a quadruple going over here on the Shuri's lab.
A 4-power Iron Man is pretty damn good.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. If we just even play a Darkhawk left, we have the Shang-Chi as well to potentially hit this Nocturne wherever Nocturne lands. This is going to be wild.
Okay, Nocturne moving mid, taking away the buff on all those 1-drops that Luffy put there. Titan coming down as a result of the Nocturne moving. And a null from Valentina. Not a whole lot of value there, especially at that -3, but it could get some value if a Shang-Chi is baited out.
This is a crazy situation for Mrs. Wolf as well with the Sarah value. If she does drop the null and play the Shang-Chi left, this, oh my, okay, this could be something crazy actually. Hold up.
So Loopy's got priority here, which means that the null and the Darkhawk would be safe here from any potential Shang-Chis. There's definitely no way Loopy would know that Mrs. Wolf's got a 1-cost null sitting in hand right now. So this could go a long way baiting out the right play from Shang-Chi here.
And for 4 cubes, life on the line, Miss Wolf is going to have to make a soul read to get the maximum value of the card she has in her hand right now.
Yep. But it looks like she might not be feeling comfortable enough and retreats here for 2 cubes. That would have been a lot having to go right, especially with 4 cubes on the line. I think that was probably the smart decision. Could have been spicy.
Could have been spicy, but that definitely is the smarter play. With a 50-50, you're on your last leg, going into the high stakes. Here we freaking go, ladies and gentlemen. 2
cubes left on the line here for Mrs. Wolf, fighting for her tournament life against Loopy Fist with a comfortable lead right now. 8 cubes to 2 cubes. Again, that turn 1 Quinjet coming down, making me look like a fool. You know what it is, Tuccrr? It's just because my luck is so bad that I never get Quinjet on turn 1. So I feel like, why bother having a card you're not going to draw until later on?
No, I feel that. What are your thoughts on Iron Lad?
Iron Lad in Arishem?
Or just Iron Lad overall? Do you still kind of have that kind of vibe? Like, does Iron Lad hit for you, or does Iron Lad not hit for you?
See, Iron Lad is generally pretty good for me. I don't know. I don't quite know how that works. I don't know what devil I had to make a deal with to get that kind of luck, but Iron Lad generally pretty good for me. Quinjet, drawing cards, not so much. Again, the turn 2 Fastos there for Mrs. Wolf. Very solid play. Echo, a very interesting card in these Arishem lists as well. Typically not played, but when generated can often get you a lot of value, deterring Darkhawks or outright smacking them in the face.
Yeah, that's actually, in this kind of matchup, knowing your opponent does have Darkhawk can be kind of vital. I can totally see it.
So the Echo being in the right lane will now force Loopy to play outside of the protection of Wakanda if he does want to put that Darkhawk down. So he will be Shangable, but again, no Darkhawks drawn yet by either player.
And we get another ARISHEM produced by ARISHEM into Loopy's hand over here.
Loopy not having luck. Not having the luck with the ARISHEM there. Just opting to go for stats here on the right side with the Vision and the ARISHEM. Trying to throw priority, it would seem.
He does have Shang-Chi in hand, so he's trying to bait out any potential play, maybe make sure or predict that she's not going to play anything in Wakanda, but this is just really, really tricky. Both of these players' hands, honestly, is not that great right now, especially having a Havoc.
Yeah, Havoc, although you do have that extra max energy with ARISHEM, still not the best there because you just don't want to be sacrificing that advantage you get. Hawk coming down here. Interesting. Removing the Wakanda for a turn. As well as the miniaturized lab. Priority remains with Mrs. Wolf. Another ARISHEM drawn by Loopy Fist. It must be his favorite card. He just can't seem to stop drawing it. And it looks like we have some decent options on Loopy's side. Not a whole lot going on here for Mrs. Wolf. This could be the end for her if the cards don't fall right.
It's looking like we're going to have to do another Soul Read this turn because we do have some Havoc value with him being a potential 6-powered card being dropped here. She will get to play out all of her card or almost all of her cards right now. She'll have to choose between either doing the Quinjet and the Hawk and the Bear or just Havoc, floating a couple energy. This is going to get a little crazy.
One thing worth noting as well, the Snowguard Hawk, the Lake Hellas will turn back on at the end of the game, so those 1 drops there will get that extra 2 power. I imagine she's probably going to try and take advantage of winning mid and go for the left lane here, but the Claw does give you some additional power on the right. Let's see what she winds up going with here. All but 1 card down on the board for Mrs. Wolf.
Yeah, I don't know. In this situation, you literally have to either commit most of your power to 1 lane or all your power to 1 lane.
Here it is. Mid is looking 1. Is she going to get enough to beat the Sentry on the left? I think she will with the Havoc getting that extra power. Doesn't even need it. There you go. Mrs. Wolf staying alive. Taking 2 cubes here from Loopy. Moving on to the next round.
Great read by Mrs. Wolf. If she even plays it in the other way too, if she plays the Havoc and the Quinjet right, she does win that as well.
Alrighty. Just taking a quick reprieve here from the match. So we've been seeing some exciting stuff so far. Lots of fun plays in this tournament. But we are getting back to the match there. No worries, producer man. We're all good. The match rages on. The battle rages on.
The comeback continues.
Could be possible. We've seen crazier things happen in Snap before.
The first time she actually gets Coulson in hand too. Let's see if she can make use of that.
Beautiful split on that Agent Coulson, by the way. Look at that. Inked with the white crackle and the green border from the Loki. Oh, no, not from the Loki. I'm just so used to seeing that neon green border on Loki that it's I just automatically assume. But Coulson doing the same thing. Have you used any of your free borders that you've gotten from the game so far, Tuccrr?
I used my neon green border. Oh, wait, hold up.
Yeah, never mind. Forget that. We just got a game-changing play here. Agatha being generated by the ARISHEM, wasting the Shang-Chi on Sinister London. Brutal pull for Loopy Fist.
Oh my word. The first Agatha we've seen so far. I've only had that happen to me 1 time in playing any ARISHEM game. This is going to be crazy, potentially helping Miss Wolf, or will it actually be super helpful for Loopy Fist?
Will she cook? Now, again, Agatha will play herself on turn 4 here because Loopy will have enough energy to get her down early. She is being discounted as well from the Quinjet, so not the worst thing, but wasting that Shang-Chi could be a defining moment of this match.
Miss Wolf got to be thinking, why in the world did Shang-Chi just come down on turn 3? Now she'll see why.
But she does make the correct play playing herself on Sinister London here, so you will get those 2 14-power stat sticks. Not bad for Loopy Fist.
And not bad at all. But I think this is another example of just Quinjet value. If we do not have the Quinjet there, Agatha gets another turn to just completely disrupt or cook, like you said.
Yep.
And Luffy's turn.
The Quinjet definitely paying off this time. The Black Vortex, not so much for Mrs. Wolf. Locked up on the right now with 18 power. So Loopy's going to win that lane pretty easily.
It is a Nocturne on the right lane.
Oh, there is a Nocturne on the right lane, excuse me. So that can be moved. We also have a Gambit in hand for Loopy. That would be crazy to see at some point.
The Jean Grey middle is honestly very spicy to disorient from any Sinister London plays or potential Shang-Chi plays on the right lane, like you said.
Now, with the double Quinjet there for Mrs. Wolf, not going to be too disruptive because you can just drop a smaller card there in that Jean Grey lane first and then slam down some stuff on Sinister London. But running out of board space here, especially with the Sinister London making the copies. I don't know if she's going to be able to pull this one out here, especially with that Darkhawk now in Loopy's hand.
She could pull the Nocturne middle after this next play to see if she can get her cards into the far right lane. Ooh.
Double death here. Loopy with priority. No Shang-Chi pull for Mrs. Wolf. Is it going to be a Nocturne and a Prayer? Loopy going for the Gambit. The Soge King. To us One Piece fans out there. The Sniper King. We'll see what he gets out of the Gambit. Maybe not.
Oh, we go for the double Gambit here. Oh, wow.
I don't know if I agree with that over the Darkhawk, but it could be a smart play playing around a potential Shang-Chi, which we know that Mrs. Wolf doesn't have, but Loopy don't know that. Yeah, I think this is the play. You definitely want those double Hawks for as much power as possible. We'll see what the Nocturne has in store. The location will change before the turn resolves, though. That is one of the new changes recently with the update to moving cards. The move will take effect first, then the cards will reveal. So let's see if the Nocturne makes any difference here, if she does wind up moving it.
Let's see. Did Agatha actually cook this game with the potential Shang-Chi early?
That could have been a devastating play had not Agatha played herself on Sinister London, getting that extra 14 power in 2 lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Some big stats there from the Queen of Chaos.
This is going to be spicy. If I don't know about this one, Chief. It looks a little weird. It is going to be anarchy.
The time runs out. The Nocturne takes effect. The Sinister London goes away. Asteroid M. Here comes the sniper.
Ooh.
Taking out the Hela. How appropriate. An angel coming down as well, replacing the Hela there. I think.
Oh my gosh.
Nope. I don't
Wait,
think
no!
it's gonna be
The White
enough.
Tiger! The White Tiger wins it!
Wow,
oh
the White Tiger!
Gosh!
Holy! That was straight up anarchy. The Nocturne moving to change the Asteroid M, pulling the Cull Obsidian left, and then the White Tiger landing exactly where it needed to. Having the board space to do so because of the snipe from Gambit as well. Absolute anarchy.
Literally, the Nocturne changing that to Asteroid M, pull the Cull Obsidian to the left onto the Sentry to win by 1. Oh my word.
I think there's something in the water when it comes to location changing cards and PWROn members, folks. There's something unpredictable about those damn location changing cards. All right, we're getting into the next match. Mrs. Wolf fighting for her life here. Only 2 more games and the comeback is complete. Spider-Ham hitting the Fastos there, by the way. So no turn 2 value on the Fastos for Mrs. Wolf. And Loopy looking strong here with the Mockingbird and the Blob. I see PWROn out there in the chat saying we don't talk about that. I don't know what you're talking about, PWROn. I didn't mention anything. All right. So Mockingbird coming down very early here for Loopy with the Ninja and the Ham discounting it heavily.
Board space is going to be an issue here potentially for Miss Wolf if she does not have an option here to fill Eternity's range. So let's see what we can get going on over there. Ooh. And some Sage value. This is going to be... Okay.
Decent Sage value there. Going to be 6 power. Getting +2 for each unique cost card unique power card in a lane, both your side and the opponent's side. Very good card, beloved by certain members of PWROn Gaming.
Talk about clog here too. We got some crazy stuff going on in Miss Wolf's end with this debris. If you want 1 rock, why not get 2 rocks?
Yep, the Wolf is not going to be doing a whole lot of moving with all these rocks on board here. Going to be a pretty stationary Wolf for most of this game.
Oh man!
Look at that, the PWROn Gaming account saying Sage is the best card in Marvel Snap. I wonder who's piloting that account. Ironheart coming down here, getting some max value, hitting 3 cards. The Wolf is schmooving a bit, but that board space at a premium for Mrs. Wolf here. Locked up on the left side for now, and top decking the Dark Hawk for Loopy Fist. We have seen very little Dark Hawk from Mrs. Wolf this set, unfortunately. Loopy getting lucky here, getting the Hawk and the Blob in hand. I don't know. The Shang-Chi on deck for Mrs. Wolf, though, so it's going to get some value. Question is, when do these cards get played? Loopy floating there.
Both players actually floated.
Yeah. Playing. Oh, there's the Dark Hawk. Speak of the devil. So Wolf with the Dark Hawk, Loopy with the Dark Hawk. Just fighting for priority here.
Oh,
I think the Dark Hawk left is a pretty smart play from Loopy because Mrs. Wolf would have to get that Wolf out of there now. Mrs. Wolf moving the Wolf. How about that? Appropriately enough, final game here coming down to Mrs. Wolf and a werewolf.
And thinking about Mystique can tuck herself into the big house as well, which cannot get Shang-Chi'd.
That is true. Some protection there. So both players going for Dark Hawk mid. Matching Hawks in the middle lane. Loopy with priority here. Wow, what a top deck.
Oh my word.
Top decks the Mystique if he so chooses. He also has the Blob to try and weaken her Hawk. But I think this is probably the right play here. You get additional power from the Silver Surfer, buffing the Sage on the left, the Mystique on the right. Again, going to be a lot to handle. You can't Shang-Chi all lanes.
Yeah, this is looking pretty tough actually here for Mrs. Wolf.
I think this could be the end here for our unsung hero, fighting back valiantly against all odds. The double Hawk, just a little too strong.
A little too strong. Oh, I freaking love it, Parry.
Messed up the the delivery there on that one a little bit, but you saw what I was going for.
Yes, I like it. Oh my word.
So
we do have a result from our other match too.
What do we got?
Oh wait, hold up. Nick the Greek versus C. We do have C pulling it out against Nick.
So another PWROn member down, Nick the Greek out, C advancing for the kingdom. Loopy taking his time here, trying to figure out where to play. Going back to his original play, I think this is smart. Again, with the priority that Mystique is safe and sound here. The Surfer boosting up the left just a little bit. Shang-Chi comes down mid, but it's not going to be enough for Mrs. Wolf. Loopy Fist takes it in an epic set there to move on. That was pretty wild. I think that was probably the highlight of the tournament so far. That last match, the Nocturne changing into the Asteroid M, moving things all over. Pure anarchy there, Tucker. Great game for both players.
That was crazy. Calling the top deck on the Mystique was also really wild. But both players played really, really well, very passively, being respectful of each other, honestly. Do they have the Shang-Chi? Do they have the Blob? And I think the Blob interaction we had on what was it? Is it Bar
Sinister? Yep, Bar Sinister.
Yes. Kind of set the tone for a little bit for the rest of the game. Will you draw what you need? And it was Loopy drew what he needed more often than Miss Wolf drew what she needed.
That is what it comes down to in a lot of these mirror matches, with both decks loaded with counter cards, the Shang-Chis, the Rogues. You have your cards that grant you that extra strength to go over the top with the Blobs, the Mystiques, the Dark Hawks. It's all a matter of who draws what, and Loopy did just have the better draws there. So we're going to be getting our next match queued up here shortly. Can we do a recap of the winners and losers so far. Let's get, if we could see the bracket perhaps. So chat, if you guys want to see the results so far, it is !bracket. We're going to be taking a quick break. So make sure you guys get in those giveaways using #PWROn as well. Take a peek there at the bracket, and we will be back momentarily.
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes! Oh my!
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking it back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the right.
Gets him over the
Gonna
top.
win it.
And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.
Alrighty, folks, we are back from break. Thanks for waiting, and we're going to be starting this next round off with a pair of giveaways. And what are we giving away here, Tucker?
We are giving away some untapped premium as well as
A season pass.
Season pass. Sorry, I escaped my mind for a second.
It's all good, Tucker. It's all good. Yeah. So if you want to get into this giveaway, hashtag PWRON power on. Get in there. We'll give you about 30 seconds for anyone who hasn't gotten in there, and then we'll be giving away that untapped premium subscription as well as a season pass. So get in there, hashtag power on, baby. Drop those ones too while you're at it. I know you guys got them out there. Let me see those ones in chats.
Rock them like them Pokemon badges. Who has the most power on badges? Let's freaking see them.
Yeah. I know I'm a bit biased, Tucker, but I think I might have the best power on badge in the whole team. You know, I'm repping those Jinbei colors. That's my boy, my fishman out there. Yours is great too. I love the lightning in the background, matches your transitions and all that. But I think I gotta take some credit there. I think I got the best one.
I think you got an awesome one, but we also got to keep in mind. I think Sal's got a really solid one with his being animated and stuff too. That does really pop.
That's cheating though. I mean, that's not the actual. You know, he's paying for premium there.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
But it is
JJ's is pretty cool too, though.
Yes, JJ's got a unique one as well. Obi is very good too. The colors really pop on Obi's. Of course, yours, like I mentioned earlier, there we go. The chat is just flooding with those ones. You'll love to see it. All right. Last call here. Hashtag PWRON. We're going to be giving it away in just a few seconds. First one is the Battle Pass. And here we go. 69 entries. Perfect. And Dubos.
Let's go.
Congratulations. You have won the season pass. We will get that over to you. Reach out to us on the Discord or not Discord. Sorry, the Twitch Whispers. We'll get you. Don't worry about it. We'll make sure you get that battle pass there. So congrats to Dubos, and we're going to be doing one more here for the untapped premium subscription as well. And let us know when we're ready to pull that.
Let's do
Hashtag power on. Again, if you want to get into these, we're going to be doing giveaways throughout the entire tournament here for season passes and untapped premium subscriptions. Big shout outs to the folks over at Untapped for providing us with those codes as well. All right, so here we go. We're going to be doing the Untapped giveaway. Again, hashtag power on. Get in there if you want a chance to win. And it's Pulse Glazer, Snap Judgment's own, winning the Untapped premium subscription. Congrats to Pulse. And we will be doing more giveaways throughout the stream as well. So stick around for that. More exciting matches to come as well.
check those stats.
All right, so who do we have coming up next here, Tucker? Looks like we are getting the match sorted out here behind the scenes. Who's going to be playing who? Again, if you want to see the bracket so far, exclamation point bracket, and you can see everyone who has won and lost so far.
And I believe we're going to be having Chaos Pro versus Gregor as our first match.
All right, so we're getting Gregor and Chaos Pro as our next match on stream here. We have other matches going on off stream as well, so make sure you guys keep checking the bracket to see if your favorite has advanced or been eliminated. We've had some big upsets so far. We've had some surprising wins as well. Lots of good stuff here in this Anarchy tournament.
Lots of anarchy, like you said. It has been all over the place. Will we see some more Cersei craziness? When I think of Anarchy, I think of Cersei, and what better card to bring into this tournament if you do have some dead draws?
Yeah, definitely able to get some more value. Sometimes we've seen Cersei backfire spectacularly before. Just yesterday, I was doing a stream, getting some practice matches in with some viewers who were playing some ARISHEM decks in preparation for the tournament. And one of the wildest plays I saw was a final turn Cersei on a 3-cost or a 2-cost card. I think it was a multiple man or something random, and it winds up turning into a Deathlock, which destroys Darkhawk. or their own Darkhawk, rather. Some wild stuff there. So you got to be careful with the Cersei, but that is what this tournament's all about, after all. Anarchy. So we're just waiting for both players here to get set up on their side. This way we can give you guys the clearest, most intense broadcast possible. So, Tuccrr, we have a very exciting Marvel Snap season coming in just a few days here. Less than a week away from the new Deadpool and Wolverine Maximum Effort season. So we saw the video come out, a lot of new features, a lot of new additions to the game. What are you most excited for the Deadpool and Wolverine season?
Honestly, I'd have to say probably with a large majority of people. I love Twitch drops, and I think that is a great just thing for the entire community.
Yes. Twitch drops for sure. One of the best things that Marvel Snap does for the community, getting those extra viewers in there, getting you guys free stuff. And the drop variant is actually really cool this time around. That Wolverine, have you seen it?
Oh my gosh, the Wolverine is honestly one of the top Wolverines until the Ghost Rider Wolverine comes out at the end of the month.
That's another sick one. If you guys see the data mines, you know what we're talking about. But we do have the match queued up here, so we're going to jump into that now. Chaos Pro versus Gregor. Here we go. All right, we have started the match already. You see Gregor D. Luffy at the top there. No bias here. I'm not telling who I'm rooting for, but you guys might know. And we have Chaos Pro at the bottom. A blob in hand for Chaos Pro and a Mockingbird in hand for Gregor here. Some good cards so far.
Ooh, the Sebastian Shaw and Aunt May's is actually incredible. That 5 power that Shaw is going to get, if it goes middle, even better.
Yep, so the Shaw here getting buffed by the Aunt Maze and then buffing himself. Slides all the way over to the left, though. And we still have one more turn before the Asgard resolves. Negasonic popping that Falcon, maintaining priority here for Chaos Pro.
Question is, does Chaos Pro reveal more of the type of deck he's running here, or does he play some more ARISHEM-generated cards? Because playing the High Evo here does let Gregor have extra intel on what he's up against.
Yes, that High Evo is indeed a feature of Chaos Pro's deck. I have noticed mostly gray borders here. Could be a bit of a tricky situation as well, confusing the opponent. But with the Mockingbird, Gregor does wind up winning the Asgard here, drawing into Wolfsbane and Coulson. Also, a slight damage to Darkhawk, drawing those extra cards there. 4 power, nothing huge, but the blob is going to do more damage than any Asgard could hope to do here.
And you know, we've talked about you can't Shang-Chi every lane. In this instance, you can Shang-Chi potentially every lane with 1 Shang-Chi and 2 Absorbent Mans.
That is true. Gregor has the full arsenal locked and loaded. Remember that scene from The Matrix when he's like, guns. I need more guns. And all the guns come flying out. That's what Gregor has right here in his hand with the Shang-Chi and the 2 Absorbing Mans.
And a snap by Gregor too, right?
Yes, that definitely seems like a smart snap here. Gregor's got to try and throw priority to make full advantage of the Shang-Chi and the Absorbing Mans here. But interesting, opts to use one of the Absorbing Mans on the Wolfsbane. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. But again, only 2 turns left. Or this was turn 5, rather. Final turn coming now. Maybe you don't need the 3 Shang-Chis. Maybe 2 is more than enough. So Gregor with priority, though, won't be able to deal with this Darkhawk.
Is going to be interesting. Chaos Pro is kind of a sitting duck here, trying to play for 1 lane, it looks like. After the snap, this is very, very shaky, I feel. After
the snap, and only being able to play 1 card. If Chaos Pro does not expect the Shang-Chi here, I would be surprised, and he doesn't. So Gregor looking like he's going to take it here. Phoenix Force coming down and turning back into the Falcon. Scooping up the Quinjet. Not going to make too much of a difference mid. That lane is lost anyway. But Gregor going to take this here with the Patriot. Now, funny enough, this is an ARISHEM tournament. We've seen it before. We've seen a certain card hop out of the deck at the end of games. A very risky play there with only the Patriot on the right side. And M'Baku right would have won it for Chaos Pro.
And would have landed on that location too because it has lowest power.
That's right.
Oh, that would have been cheeky.
That would have been chaos, but unfortunately it does not work out for Mr. Pro, and Gregor taking 4 cubes there off the first game. Strong start for Gregor.
We got a strong starting hand here for Chaos Pro, drawing 3 out of 4 of the cards from his deck. with a Limbo, which could enable him to get even more Hulk value since this is high Evo. And Hulk does love that Limbo location.
Certainly does, being able to float that energy an extra turn. Actually getting some Mantis value here. You don't see a whole lot of Mantis play, but we do get some value here from the Mantis, stealing the Iceman. Now, Chaos Pro does have the Loki in hand, but with the Blob and Hulk, I don't think we're going to see him playing it this game.
And the funny interaction there, too, is the Iceman hitting the new Iceman as well.
Yes, Iceman generated and then immediately bopped for that extra 1 cost there. Chaos opting to go for the Iceman as well. Hitting the Thanos, bringing it back to 6 cost, for previously reduced by the Titan. Ooh, talk about some anarchy, Tuccrr.
Get the Weird World down.
The Weird World. Chaos wants nothing to do with that. He wants his own random cards, not Gregor's. So playing the Magic there, getting rid of the Weird World. And Gregor playing the Coulson, generating a Silver Samurai and a Taskmaster. So Silver Samurai, one of these interesting cards in this matchup, because Blob is sitting there with that 0 power in hand. A sitting duck, if you will, for the Samurai to slice and dice.
Well, fortunately, Chaos Pro did get the Zola, so it would be a 50-50 for the Samurai to either hit Zola or hit Blob.
Yes. And Gregor would also have to give up his own Taskmaster if he did go to Samurai. He doesn't, though. Just goes for a tempo stature play here. Chaos Pro slamming down that big Hulk. Chaos snapping on it. Gregor wants nothing to do with it. Smart retreat there for 1 cube.
Yeah, Gregor had probably the worst hand in that situation. He did draw the Mockingbird early and got immediate Mockingbird value, but Chaos Pro's tempo there was absolutely
for sure. Lots of good stuff there. And starting in the hand, first card drawn is that Darkhawk for Chaos Pro. Gregor on the top there, not getting a whole lot to work with.
Ooh, we do get a little bit of blink value, though. I like what we got there. And then Great Portal giving a Magneto a tech 6 cost card that could actually work fairly well into Chaos Pro's favor.
Absolutely. Magneto, one of those cards that is just so good and yet so slept on. It feels like everyone knows how good Magneto is, but you still never expect him. And Sokovia here, discarding Rockslide and Phoenix Force, nothing too detrimental there. Could have been much worse for both players.
And we get a great draw also here for Gregor, getting the Rogue to potentially offset the Darkhawk, or even add an extra blob play.
Yep.
And then Coulson just is probably, I guess, Arishem's favorite card on Gregor's side of the board, because he has drawn him at pretty much every single game so far.
A lot of Coulson coming down for Gregor here, and Gregor is locked and loaded with the counters. Just drew the Shang-Chi, got the Rogue in hand as well. And Mr. Fantastic might make this a bit difficult to throw priority, though. So let's see how Chaos answers here in this priority battle.
Well, this is going to be interesting. Does Chaos Pro play the Darkhawk on curve, knowing that Gregor is running Shang-Chi?
He does go for the middle lane, trying to keep the priority on Gregor's side.
Ooh.
An unfortunate blink there, getting no value from the Namora as both cards were in the same lane. Gregor goes into turn 5 here with priority.
And it looks like we're going to be seeing a rogue play from Gregor as well immediately. That is a tech snap right there by Gregor. And Chaos Pro is not fazed by it, actually.
Nope. Not even reconsidering. Feeling very strong. Accepts it. The Rogue goes off, stealing the Darkhawk with the priority there from Gregor. And throws down a Werewolf for good measure. Now, the Rogue can get moved by the Magneto, because it is 3 cost, and that's exactly what happens. So, right lane locked up for Gregor there. The Werewolf can dip out of that lane if need be. But I think this is looking... Let's see. So, Gregor's got priority here. We have a Shang-Chi in hand for Gregor. Not a whole lot else to play, but no Shang-Chi targets with that Magneto being protected over there with his full lane. I don't think... the Blob right could potentially do it if the Darkhawk goes down enough, if he eats enough cards, but how is he going to win the other lanes?
I don't think we stay in this for 4 cubes. This is getting a little crazy over here.
I would say this is anarchy, Tuccrr. I don't know if I would stay here either.
No, I think Chaos Pro, like you said, is being anarchic. No, that's not a word. But
An anarchist is the word you're looking for there.
Anarchist, yes. There we go. And it's not enough.
It's not. The blob only gets to 15. He needed to be a bit greedier, a bit more fat, but not enough to bring down the rogue. That was the Darkhawk. Gregor takes another 4-cuber there, putting Chaos in a deep hole to crawl out of.
Chaos Pro just wants to be down cubes, and he's trying to fight back and have the greatest comeback story. Maybe that is what we're seeing right now.
Chaos Pro is a bit of a showman. He does like to you know, put himself in these situations where the dramatic tension is built. So this could all be a part of the script. We'll see.
Hopefully, like, the script for tonight goes really well, and Money in the Bank for WWE. Hoping that my cousin Drew McIntyre thinks at home.
Definitely, if you don't know, if you guys have not seen Drew McIntyre, do a quick Google search there, and you can tell there's some relation between him and Tuccrr. Not the biggest WWE fan over here, but I've seen the picture, and we have a Mobius coming down on turn 2 for Gregor here. Not going to impact Chaos Pro too much with the high Evo build compared to the Loki builds we've been seeing. But again, Gregor stocked with both counters in hand, the Rogue and the Shang-Chi. So it's going to be a priority battle here, dealing with the Blob, the Hulk. He's ready to go.
Ooh. Fun fact as well, if you guys did not know, there is a high Evo ARISHEM interaction. If ARISHEM goes off before high Evo and generates your high Evo cards, those cards will be getting the high Evo synergy as well, which is a little interesting. They've talked about it in some of the dev reports as well. It is a known feature, but not necessarily something they think they have to change at the moment.
That is correct. So it's basically a 50-50 on whether or not those vanilla cards generated by ARISHEM will have the high Evo text or not. We have not seen that come into, or we just saw that come into play actually with the thing getting the ability from high Evo there. So we have a Dream Dimension, but Chaos looking pretty strong here with that extra energy from Castle Blackstone. Able to play the Blob on turn 5 as a result. Got the Hulk down the previous turn here.
But it looks like Gregor has all the tech. He also has the Rogue and the Shadow King.
Not anymore. He just discards his Shadow King. I don't know if the Colleen was the right play there. Gregor would have been able to play Rogue and Shadow King. I don't think that would have done too much good for him, though.
He does play the Rogue now, but is he fighting for 1 lane or is he fighting for 3 lanes is the question.
The Rogue mid might not even be enough because, again, the Rogue doesn't get rid of the Blob's power. It just triggers a Blob ability of its own. So there's no guarantee. If it only gets to 15, it could still not be enough to win mid. The other lanes are in question here. So will Gregor be able to steal it with the Rogue here? Let's find out.
Oh boy, this is going to be crazy. Rogue with the -1 from the Scorpion as well.
Nom 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 nom. Not enough. Only gets to 16. Chaos survives. Takes 2 cubes off Gregor there.
Victory.
The Rogue not enough.
Which the crazy thing with like the Rogue tech and like with a potential like Mystique Absorbian tech is until they have gained an extra 15 power, not until they hit the base 15. So if it is Absorbian can go up to 19 before he stops, and that interaction Rogue to 17.
So in retrospect there, I think Gregor was probably better off keeping that Shadow King in hand to use against the Blob to reduce it to 0 instead of trying to match it with the Blob on its own. Wow, so we just got an update on behind the scenes here, folks. A big upset. Loopy Fist eliminated from the tournament in a perfect 10-0 sweep from Helkin, advancing to the semifinals.
Flawless victory.
There it is. We also got a Makari coming down here from Gregor, some free value. And look at that, Gregor first draw of the Super Scroll, one of the key cards in this matchup to go against Darkhawk here.
And the Starlight Citadel is going to be very interesting here. What locations are going to swap here? Because that Sunspot is not going to be just locked behind that location for the remainder of the game.
Nope, and Gregor does throw down the Super Scroll early. No fear of hiding it for later. So just using it as a Darkhawk deterrent here. But Chaos Pro has quite a few options with all the cost reduction he's got from the Quinjet.
He is trying to fill that location. Does he remember Starlight Citadel is about to happen as well? Oh my goodness. This is going to be crazy.
The old man in the chair, locking down that left location. Didn't matter. It was kiln anyway. But now, freedom on Chaos Pro's side, as well as Gregor to play in that right location.
Do we play around not getting Sunspot too huge until the end of the game now because of how prevalent Shang-Chi has been in Gregor's hand?
I think that would be the smart move, but it's also going to be difficult for Chaos Pro to not float power here, considering the cards in hand. No matter what he plays, some energy is going to get floated, and that Sunspot will move up into Shang-Chi territory. Drops the Loki here to get 4 cards at a premium discount, including the Super Scroll. Very interesting here.
We get a top deck Kyera to protect Chaos Pro into this final turn. Ooh.
Doesn't matter because Gregor does not have the Shang-Chi. He also has the double Super Scroll here to play around a potential Darkhawk from Gregor, although it's just going to come down to a blob, and will it be big enough?
If it's blob middle, though, Gregor just wins outright.
He does. Chaos really committing hard to that right lane, expecting a Darkhawk here, but unfortunately it looks like this is going to be the end for Mr. Pro. The blob is just going to wind up taking this here. Gregor moving on to the semifinals, excuse me.
And a huge pull from Gregor too. 20 power blob with a +2 as well.
Yep.
Or +3 from Bass, so he got +19.
Big old blob there doing what he does, eating up all the cards, and there you have it. Gregor D. Luffy advancing to the semifinals. Shout outs to the Nakama. I know you got some One Piece swag on there, Tuck, if you want to show that shirt off a little bit.
You got a One Piece
There he
shirt.
is.
We got
Hell
the One
yeah.
Piece flag right here, and then we got the Gear 5 Loofster right behind me as well. Spoiler. But, yeah.
I think everyone and their mother has seen Gear 5th Luffy at this point. It's the worst kept secret in all of anime. So that is going to be it for that round. We are going to be moving on to our next match shortly, which is going to be Sino Montana, top 5 Marvel Snappers in the world, versus C from the Kingdom. So another inter-kingdom PWROn matchup coming up here in just a moment. Again, guys, we are doing giveaways throughout the entire stream, so make sure you get in there with hashtag PWRON, PWRON, to get into those giveaways. And what are we giving away, Tucker?
We're going to be giving away an untapped premium as well as a season pass.
That's right. Make sure you guys get those untapped premium subscriptions so you can see those stats, those advanced play rates, all the good intel to help level up your game if you are trying to take Marvel Snap seriously.
Yep. And I think the last game was a prime example of cube equity, just knowing when to snap and when to retreat, and just maximizing. And I think there was a lot of instances there where I think there was probably a right decision to retreat, but it was they don't have it. There's no way they have it. No respect there. So.
Very opposite match compared to what we just saw with Mrs. Wolf and who played Mrs. Wolf? I'm sorry, Loopy Fist. That's right. Loopy Fist and Mrs. Wolf in the previous game. Very respectful, very cognizant of each other's counters. Whereas Chaos Pro and Gregor were just trading haymakers, 4-cuber after 4-cuber. They were swinging for the anarchy fences. I'm sorry, Loopy. I didn't forget. There's a lot going on here.
And also, we got another result coming in right now from the White Wayne Brady and PWROn's matchup. White Wayne Brady takes it. 5 cubers.
Wow. The White Wayne Brady, the Dark Hawk horse of the tournament, taking it over PWROn, advancing to the semifinals. So if you guys want to see what the bracket's looking like, ! Bracket. So far, we have had Helkin advance, we have had White Wayne Brady advance, and we have had Gregor advance. Yes, we just watched the game. See, I have hummingbird brain sometimes, goldfish brain sometimes. Just immediately forget. Anyone who watches me do Marvel Snap bingos every Monday evening around 6 p.m. Eastern, by the way, knows that I sometimes have difficulty. I'll see who won bingo and then immediately forget who won bingo. So
Which that's one of the best events I've actually seen from the Snap community, by the way. Huge kudos to you for running that and for all the support you bring to giving access to other, players, season passes, other giveaways. Parry does a great job. You guys definitely need to be checking out those streams.
The Marvel Snap community is one of the most generous communities in all of gaming. We are constantly doing giveaways. If you guys are new to the game, new to the scene, just hop in some streams. We are almost all very friendly, very supportive, very welcoming. We'll answer questions as trivial as you may think they are. We are happy to help support and grow this community and grow this scene. So we do appreciate you guys coming out and supporting all these events we do, like Bingo, like this tournament, like other events we have coming up in the future, such as a in-person Marvel Snap tournament next Friday, the 12th of July at PWROn in New York City. And why don't we go and see what PWROn's all about? Can we throw to the PWROn video as we get this next match set up here?
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes!
Oh my!
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking it back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the right.
Gets him over the
Gonna win
top.
it.
And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.
Alrighty, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is good to see you guys. These matches have been absolutely freaking insane. I got a prompting question for you, Parry.
What do you got for me, Tuck?
So we've seen a lot of these lists running Loki, but we haven't seen a lot of Loki usage. Something I've seen on social media, of course, on Twitter, X, whichever you call it, is a lot of people aren't liking that. They're seeing a lot of Loki in ARISHEM. Are you thinking that is an issue, or what are you thinking about it?
Well, in this tournament so far, we haven't seen a whole lot of Loki being played. A lot of the matches have been coming down to Blob, Darkhawk, and the counters. But one of the things we have seen with Loki so far is trying to fish for those cards, the Shang-Chis, the Darkhawks, the Blobs. And that is really where we're seeing the most impact from Loki. Not necessarily the cost reduction, just trying to reverse those bricked hands into one of those cards that'll help you win the match.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think we were talking about this earlier. Is this another example of maybe instead of the Loki, you do run that Quinjet because the Quinjet has added more value than some of these other Loki situations? Or is that still a point where we're still kind of walking the line or okay?
So I think I've seen enough to say that Quinjet certainly does have some value in these decks. I'm mana low enough to admit when I'm wrong, and I may have been wrong about Quinjet. I don't think it's essential. I don't think you need it in every single build. I think certain builds would be better benefited from cards like Armor. I'm surprised we haven't been seeing more Armor teched into some of these decks. Granted, they are locked deck lists, so you can't really make changes on the fly. But I think Armor is one of these cards you're going to start seeing make its way into more of these ARISHEM lists as the meta evolves to protect from the Shang-Chis.
And I raise you. I think we might see more Kyera in this list because you have the extra energy. Kyera doesn't feel as bad to play on a turn 2 than she would be to play on a turn 3.
That is true.
We only saw that with High Evo, which Robo was running with Kyera. But we haven't seen a lot of that because we are seeing so much Shang-Chi, and it does protect your blob. I feel like that is a potential card you could be throwing down for that interaction.
I'll see your Kyera and re-raise you to go back to the Armor argument. Kyera does not protect your Darkhawk from Shang-Chi because Darkhawk is a 5 cost. Kyera only protects your 1s and 6s. So your blob's safe, but your Darkhawk's not. And if you use Armor over Kyera, you can play them both in the same lane, potentially mitigating the Rogue on your Darkhawk, because that Armor is an ongoing effect. Your Rogue stealing an Armor does nothing. It still protects that whole lane. So I think a case can be made for both Armor and Kyera in these decks.
I do like your raise, and I think that is a very, very valid point. And I think it, like what you said, it boils down to which card do you have in your hand? What are you building your deck more around? And if it is more quintessential, people are running Darkhawks in every single mirror match, the Armor makes more sense.
I agree. And I think we're going to see, especially in a non-ARISHEM tournament, as far as the regular meta evolves, playing ARISHEM in Ladder, in Conquest, you are probably going to start seeing some less Darkhawk making an appearance in the ARISHEM lists, and more Blob, of course. So maybe the Kyera does wind up being the better play to protect the Blob. I think Blob is pretty staple in ARISHEM lists. I think it's going to be hard to run ARISHEM without having Blob in there. That is such a key card to help take over the game in these ARISHEM lists.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, like what you said, when we go into future tournament settings, if they do end up tweaking ARISHEM, which I think the only way they would be adding more cards to your deck when you do use your ARISHEM, so you're maybe less likely to draw your stuff, Blob's value just grows immensely even more because you're reaching to get that extra power you may not have gotten on previous turns.
I wonder if they would have that be the workaround. I don't think we need to start talking about ARISHEM nerfs already. Card hasn't even been out a week. We're all still having a lot of fun, play rate through the roof, all that stuff. I get it. But if we are talking about potential changes to ARISHEM, I think they would probably go perhaps the Thanos High Evo route, where the card starts in your hand before they start adding more cards to the deck. Because again, that could be an advantage in certain scenarios for both Darkhawk and Blob, compared to the ARISHEM starting in your hand, that being effectively one dead draw. You're getting one less card that you want to draw by having the ARISHEM start in your hand.
I like that. And then, you're playing ARISHEM, Thanos, Agatha, Quicksilver, so those are your first 4 draws, and then you're totally good.
We've seen that video floating around. I think it was Lambie who put out a quick clip of him playing all the intro animation cards in the same deck. Quicksilver, Thanos, High Evo, ARISHEM, and Agatha, all starting in the opening hand. Pretty crazy stuff. The animations took like 20 seconds to finish before the game actually got started. Funny stuff. If you haven't seen that, check it out.
And your opponent doesn't know. They're just like, okay, why is it taking me this extra minute to just load into my first freaking location review?
It's like, why are they roping me on turn 1 here? The game just started. What are you doing? Funny stuff there. All right, we are still getting our next match set up here. Sino and C will be our final game of the top 8, and then we'll be moving into the semifinal. And who has advanced so far?
So we have had Helkin, Gregor, and White Wayne Brady advanced, and we're running into, like you said, Sino and C. The last potential, depending on what happens, Kingdom and PWROn match. We may get 2, depending on if C advances, or it might be 3 PWROn and 1 Kingdom member in the final 4.
That's correct. We've already had from PWROn, Gregor and White Wayne Brady advancing, and of course from the Kingdom, Helkin advancing in epic fashion over some great competitors in Loopy Fist and Call Me Sal. All right, we're into the next game here. We have who is on the bottom here? I don't see the names up just yet. Okay, we're figuring out on the back end who is who here. We'll get you that information as soon as we have it. But the top player here with a blob in hand, the bottom with Darkhawk and blob. So good stuff here from both players. Lots of answers.
C is at the bottom because I remember looking at his list and he had a Pocket Kang in his list.
That is correct. That is Kang run in the list. Very interesting choice from C here. What are your thoughts on running Kang in ARISHEM, Tucker?
I think it's very interesting. I feel like the Kang interaction of drawing a card doesn't always happen. Maybe it's to me or whatever, but I think the mind games you can do in a tournament setting with a snap into Kang can get a little bit spicy.
Yes. So the idea, I believe, behind the Kang is you have the extra energy to play him earlier. So if you draw him on turn 4, whatever card whenever you draw Kang, the next card, if you play him, you would get effectively another draw. I know I stumbled over that a little bit, but when you top deck Kang, if you play him on that turn, you top deck him, you are able to get an additional draw because he disappears from the game. So that's the mentality behind running Kang in this deck. But I do agree, in a tournament format, the Kang snaps can go a long way. We'll see if that winds up playing out here as we get these players set up in the proper order. And there it is, the Kang coming down.
And we have flipped screens too. C is now up top, and now we have Sino at the bottom.
Thank you for that clarification. So C at the top, Sino at the bottom. We are watching Sino's screen as well.
Emote spam by C over here with the Kang interaction. All right.
I don't know if I would have revealed that Kang so early, especially without a snap. Seems like a card you might want to hang on to for a higher pressure situation, but does benefit from the card draw, I suppose. We do see the Darkhawk coming down from C as well. Blob in hand for Sino, ready to go.
But we do have a potential leader play that C can make potentially on this next turn. Maybe we rogue back if that is what Sino decides to do.
Could be. And leader is also another interesting addition into these ARISHEM lists here, because typically you are playing these huge cards out. So leader is often value if you're able to steal a blob or a Darkhawk.
Yeah, I think you're totally right there. And I think we're having Sino fight for some priority going into this final turn. Is he trying to offset maybe some Darkhawk potential or just get some maximum value on the blob? And we get a snap over here.
Looks like that was a Sino snap. I believe we had Sino snapping. We have C emoting over here as well. Both players dropping the emotes. You love to see it. Some friendly emote spam. And both blobs coming down here for both players. Let's see how big they get.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty big on C side. 21 power. That Darkhawk shrinking a little bit. Only 16 for Sino.
Sino keeps the power, or C keeps the power on that left lane with the Omega Red as well.
Yes, extra 3 power in both lanes there, the middle and the right from the Omega Red. Sino locked up on the left side. I don't think he's going to be able to do much about that lane, but he does have the Rogue to deal with a Darkhawk. How does he win the other lane? Does he go for the patented Flash Scarlet Witch Hail Mary, or will this be a retreat here from Sino?
It looks like a leader play by C as well, which with C having priority, this rogue, if he does get this down, is not going to do anything for him.
Nope.
And we do also get a buff Macari potentially landing herself on the board if Sino does not fill as well.
Both players considering a retreat here. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. We are snapped in for at least 2 cubes. Will we see this go to 4, or will someone retreat? Only 2 spots for Sino to play in. Very limited in his options here. Rogue seems all but guaranteed mid. The question is, will he go for the Macari or the Scarlet Witch?
And Sino's not trying to risk that Scarlet Witch, I don't think, like what happened in the last PWROn tournament.
Nope. Indeed, Sino
Oh.
is looking to retreat here, but C does not and winds up taking 2 cubes off Sino in this first round here. So we've already seen Kang come down. We had the leader locked and loaded, but that is still yet to be revealed. So a nice ace in the hole for C there as we move on to the second round.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. We do have a Fasto starting in hand again for Sino for some immediate value, and both players have their Darkhawks.
Yep, both Hawks in hand. They're going to be socking it to him.
With Vibranium revealing itself as well, first player to play on Vibranium might be a little tricky.
A bit of a game of chicken hawk, perhaps, with the Vibranium Mines. When you play there, you're getting 3 extra cards added to your deck. So that is 6 power for Darkhawk every time someone plays on that lane. So it's going to be a battle of who will play first and what will be played there.
Some Howard value as well, potentially, in the ARISHEM list to see what you draw.
Not bad.
Another Quinjet, though, for Sino with the Fastos.
Definitely good value here for Sino. Not great value on having 2 ducks. Doesn't do a whole lot for you except make Roby happy. We're always
Sino
happy to
hating on the
see.
duck, though. He gave it the angry emote. Robo, if you are in chat, how are you going to feel about that one?
Loopy Fist coming in. Gracious competitor raiding into the main channel here as we get into the semifinals with our final match of top 8 here. Rogue on the Quinjet. Interesting call here from C. But Sino benefiting from having that extra Quinjet and the Fastos as well. I can't wait to see who plays on Vibranium Mines first. This is such a mind game here. You both know Darkhawk is a possibility. Who is going to crack first and play theirs?
That was a really risky rogue, honestly. Using that on the Quinjet. Oh, and then the Luke Cage also is really good for this Quantum Tunnel interaction, depending on wherever. Oh, whoa. Okay.
All right, so Sino mixing his plays up a little bit. Yes, Luke Cage will have some value with Quantum Realm there. It would not reduce the cost of your base power with Luke Cage. And we see our first Darkhawk come down from C on the right lane. We have the Luke Cage played on Vibranium Mines as well. So the Darkhawk buffs are active. That is one big looking hawk on the right. But with the Rogue gone, I think Sino should feel pretty comfortable here playing his own Darkhawk. How will he win the other lanes, though?
And this card coming down from C as well, kind of limiting what Sino can play on this next turn. If Sino does not play this Darkhawk right now, the Silver Samurai will smite thy Darkhawk.
That is true. Silver Samurai is one of those cards that goes off base power, not ongoing power. Sino does dodge the Samurai there. Good play by him, getting that Darkhawk out mid. Should be able to win that pretty comfortably. And now we move into the final turn. Top decking a Nocturne for Sino. So regardless of what he plays, it's just going to be 7 power here. The Thanos is the best play on C's side. Would be able to tie left, but I believe if my math is correct, he would lose tiebreaker. Sino would lose tiebreaker because the Vibranium Mines would buff his Darkhawk a bit more. I don't know if C needs to be retreating here. I guess he's a bit concerned. Only 2 cards in Sino's hand, though.
I think Sino actually wins on tiebreak. Darkhawk on the right goes to that location goes to 49, which would be 55. With the Thanos would be 65, 10 with the other Nocturne. But It really depends on where C would be playing the Thanos. If C plays Thanos left as well, that extra 6 helps Sino in that interaction as well.
I think C is feeling pretty confident in his Darkhawk right outside of a Shang-Chi. Of course, both players have to be a bit nervous about that, but I don't know if that math was correct there. We also just lost visual here on Sino's game, so give us a second to try and get that back. We have not seen any result yet. You guys are not missing any action. We are trying to get Sino's footage back up on screen here.
Because Sino is up by it's a 51 power with just the middle and right location for Sino, and it is 49 power for C at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, so we had a bit of an unfortunate instance there with Sino disconnecting, but C retreats for 1 cube, and we move on to our next game.
Yeah. C wins tiebreak by 2.
Okay. So we are seeing another card in C's deck that we have not seen a whole lot of today, and that is Alioth. Alioth, another card that can definitely counter some of these big final turn plays. How do you feel about Alioth in ARISHEM, Tuccrr?
I think having priority in a lot of these lists, like we were talking about, protecting your big cards, protecting your Darkhawk, protecting your Blob, but being able to play Alioth potentially on that lane. Maybe it is overcommitting, but if you're thinking your opponent is going to rogue you or Shang-Chi you, it does protect you and add another 10 power to that lane.
And it also makes the priority game a bit more layered, a bit more nuanced, because you do want priority if you're running that Alioth. So maybe you do want to play your Darkhawk or your Blob out a little bit early, trying to maintain that priority in anticipation of a rogue or a Shang-Chi.
Oh, totally. Oh, we do get a Taskmaster also from the Coulson here, which is going to be really solid if we do get our combo going for the top 5 over here.
I'm surprised I haven't seen more Taskmaster, honestly. I think White Brady is the only one actually running Taskmaster in list here. And we've seen the potential. PWROn was also running Taskmaster? Yeah, very good value coming from the Taskmaster. But again, Silver Samurai, an interesting inclusion here from C, trying to counter that Blob, or Mystique as well. Good targets here for Samurai. One of my favorite cards in the game, personally. I think Silver Samurai is very slept on, and we're going to see some potential here, what he's capable of.
Have you been playing him in any mill lists? Because he feels some solid in some mill lists currently.
Yes, I do enjoy some Black Bolt, Samurai, Stature mill list. I was actually trying to make a return to form for the old good stats list with Miles with the new buff here, trying to get all those discounted cards. Didn't work out too well. Still not quite strong enough, but we'll get there. I'm sure Lambie or KM Best will make a deck, and I'll be like, damn it, I almost had it.
And it'll be in September with the spider cards, probably.
Good point. The spider cards in September looking real spicy. But for now, we have nothing going here on C side outside of a rogue Shang-Chi. Just a YOLO Shang-Chi there. Goes for the hard soul read, and it doesn't pay off. I would say this is a snap and a half for Sino right now, although he doesn't have a whole lot in hand here.
Sino's hand is dead, but like you said, the Shang-Chi was a little crazy. Maybe if we saw a blink in hand, it would make sense. But with the tempo we have right now for the tech, not the tech god, for the top 5 king over here, it's going to be interesting depending on what he top decks. Oh, the order too. This is tricky.
Definitely tricky here. Nothing great to do for Sino. I would almost consider just... I don't remember the last card he played. I think it was X23, right? So he's not going to get any Taskmaster value there. Yeah, I think he's probably better off just doing... I mean, the armor's fine. It's not going to protect anything because nothing's Shang-Chiable over there. But just a little extra power on the left lane before it closes. And there is a blob. So good no play on the middle lane from the armor there. Sino with the immediate snap. Showing his hand a little bit, potentially.
Interesting. Oh my goodness. The combo right here is about to go burr.
Yeah, this is pretty wild stuff. With Sino having priority as well, not going to get any Alioth value here. Now, anticipating a rogue, there could be a counter rogue here from C, trying to steal the blob and then trigger it once again. but I don't know if that's going to be enough to do it. With losing the left lane, it's risky. 15 power from the rogue blob plus the 2 that would win mid. The Taskmaster is a bit more guaranteed in terms of copying the power. The Mystique would trigger again. I don't know how many cards are left in Sino's deck, so I think the Taskmaster is probably the play over the Mystique. What do you think, Tuck?
I think the Taskmaster is a better play because you get that extra 2 power on the Rogue, potentially that you wouldn't get on the Mystique.
Yeah, and I think that was the right retreat there from C in a very rough spot, not having access to that left lane, and knowing that blob from Sino's snap was probably not long for this world.
And we see a lot of usage of cube management a lot in this game, especially too. A lot of snapping retreats, a lot of respecting what other tech our opponent has. I like what we got going on here this match as well.
Yes, definitely more technical, feeling each other out, a lot of snapping, a lot of putting pressure on given the situation. And this is to get into the semifinals. So this is the final spot here in order to get to top 4, both players taking this seriously.
And this is a great pull we have actually from Sino as well, with the Darkhawk Mystique in hand, as well as their Pocket Shang-Chi. Whereas we have a couple different tech options in C's hand right now. This is going to get really interesting. I think it's definitely going to be a priority battle.
I'm really intrigued by C's list here. Definitely trying to take advantage of some of the discard aspects with Silver Samurai, with Black Bolt running here as well. Counter cards like Cannonball and Leader. Is the Cannonball from ARISHEM or is it from the deck?
That is from his deck.
Okay, so he is running Cannonball. So a full hand of cards brought by C in hand, and Sino with every counter under the sun here. Got the Shang-Chi, got the Rogue, the Darkhawk, the Mystique. Sino is looking locked and loaded right now. If I was Sino, I would probably snap.
Yeah, this is looking absolutely disgusting. But I think that's like the thing is though, like we're like, yes, we're so good. We know what our pen has, but it's ARISHEM. What could they have to counter? Do they have the tech that is going to absolutely pummel us? Or pummel? I don't know if I've said that right, but
pummel, yeah, pummel.
Or what's going to happen here? I think that's the crazy part when it comes to like this type of situation in this style of tournament.
Yeah, we also have the benefit of being able to see both players' hands. Obviously, the players do not have that luxury unless they're stream sniping, in which case they should be banned immediately. But we do see the Darkhawk coming down, taking out a Mystique. So that Darkhawk play now a little less valuable without the Mystique to back it up, but just like that, Sino top decks the Blob instead. Another great play here on Sino's side. Also, an Iron Man could get some crazy good value if you need to go extra tall on a lane. But let's see how C is able to respond here. The Moon Knight inclusion is interesting too. I think that's very much in flavor of the Anarchy.
Yes, he wanted to. He told me before the tournament he wanted to have Moon Knight in this list because he wanted to show off his Moon Knight variant, and it's a beautiful Hellfire Gala Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, one of those cards, much like Storm, much like Null, all good variants across the board from Moon Knight. It's a shame he's just kind of an ass card compared to those others.
And this is going to be interesting too. Honestly, this is a leader coming down from C. If C hits the leader where Sino tries to rogue, it would have been interesting, but he's going to get an Iron Man, it looks like, down in the middle lane.
Sino going extra greedy here with the Iron Man on the Darkhawk lane. It winds up paying off because the leader steals it. Not a whole lot of power that middle lane, but the Blob could make things interesting. I don't know if it's going to get to Darkhawk levels, though. But this also makes rogue plays a bit more interesting. We see a snap from C, or was that a Sino snap?
I believe that was a Sino snap.
So Sino feeling pretty confident. C with priority here as well, thanks to the Miss Marvel and the Goose and the Black Bolt. Not Miss Marvel triggering just yet. So Sino could go for the Blob left here. What is C's play?
C went really quick. I don't even know what card he just played, I'll be honest.
Well, we saw the leader come down. What we're about to find out here. Oh, that, of course. The Kang value.
And he knows Blob will get 15 power if Blob does get played.
Another small advantage there to having Kang in your deck. You know exactly how big that blob's going to get. It won't change what cards are absorbed by the blob. So we know now that blob's going to be 15 power, and we saw Sino playing in the left lane. Will this make a difference for C in terms of what he plays?
Ooh. The thing is, blob will always go left. If he just plays blob middle, will he have enough power to go over top the Darkhawk?
I don't think so. If we know, well, we don't know what C's blob would get to. We know Sino's will get to 15. If the blob was to get to 15 for C, I'm trying to do a little bit of quick math here. I don't think that'll be enough though. 11, 13.
Depends on how many cards he absorbs for the Darkhawk. That's really where it gets really shaky.
That's true. The Darkhawk will go down in power some here. Sino going for a Rogue Shang-Chi play instead. I think this might be okay.
If Rogue hits the Miss Marvel instead of the Iron Man, that's the only thing that adds no value. Well, it could add some potential value. No, actually, because of the Shang-Chi left, it wouldn't add any value to the left.
Yep, both 4 costs in the left lane there if he does choose to play the Shang-Chi. I'm sure that is what Sino is thinking about right now. Both players smartly using all the time on the clock here. A lot of options to consider. Now, having those ongoing stacked in the middle lane there is what we were talking about earlier with the Armor Kyera situation. You don't know what Rogue is going to take. Granted, no Darkhawk here for C to steal.
And it looks like this might be the perfect read from Sino, because I believe that blob is going into the left lane for C. Or he's still getting cheeky with it. Okay.
Both players really thinking through their moves here. Time almost up on the timer.
Did we get a retreat from Sino? Is that what it is? Oh my
Out
gosh.
of time. Sino locks it in with the left. It's Moon Knight left for C.
Oh my gosh.
No blob play coming down at all. Hulkbuster instead. I think
That
C
is enough power left in
might
mid,
actually take this. The Rogue does nothing, gets hit by the Man Thing. The Shang-Chi does nothing, and C finds the path forward and steals 2 cubes here off Sino. A lot of mind games going on there. A lot of trying to read each other. The Miss Marvel diff is what won it there for C. So if Sino wound up going Rogue mid, and then Shang-Chi right, I think he still would have wound up losing. Yeah, see, I think just took it.
Rogue, if he needed a Rogue mid and he needed to play Nocturne right.
Yes, Nocturne right would have done it. I think he would have won tiebreaker there.
Yeah, his Darkhawk was huge.
That was a big old hawk with the Iron Man coming down. All right, we are into the high stakes rounds here. 2 cubes on the line for both players. C up 8 cubes to 6 at the moment. And a double Quicksilver draw from both ARISHEMs here, trolling with the Quicksilvers.
Oh, man, when we're talking about Miss Marvel value, I mean, Miss Marvel actually, yeah, I was going to say, Miss Marvel's in the deck there. I was about to say, no Miss Marvel value middle location anymore with the squirrels going on all 3 lanes.
That's right. The Quicksilver being down there on Xandar makes the Miss Marvel value practically non-existent. I don't think we're going to see her hitting the board here. Sino, on the other hand, some decent cards from ARISHEM. Black Widow, I found one of the most disruptive cards, turn 5 especially. A turn 5 Black Widow in an ARISHEM deck is just devastating.
Oh, for sure.
Not being able to draw that final card.
Right here, especially like you're saying too, like with the hand that C has right now, that was really brutal.
Yep. A whole lot of nothing here for C. Sino with some decent tempo cards to play out. Nocturne never feels bad to play. The Valkyrie could be a cheeky card to help win him the game as well if we see a blob. Not going to do too much against Darkhawk because that ongoing power, but the Valkyrie will get some value. And we do see the Miss Marvel come down. Interesting call here from C. Not a whole lot else he could do, though, so I get it.
Do we get a Negasonic? Negasonic's another one of those cheeky cards.
Yes,
you always forget about.
Never thinking about. Again, a part of the priority dance that players are doing in these ARISHEM mirrors. I've definitely lost some games throwing a Darkhawk or a Blob onto a Negasonic before. I'm sure we all have.
Mm-hmm.
We have a no, not a double snap, just one snap here. I believe that was C snapping.
Yes, I believe it was C because he's playing Kang. It's a Kang snap.
That's right. Sino probably anticipating at this point. We've already seen Kang come down twice in this set so far.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to make too much of a difference here, and C will not get the extra draw because the Kang has been in his hand for a little bit. So you only get the extra draw from Kang if you top deck him.
It's a good explanation right there because I actually didn't know that myself.
Yep. Unless I'm wrong. I could be. But I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
The Kang snap, we always get the Kang snap in this situation to be some sort of like psychological little trip you up kind of thing.
Some Jedi mind trick stuff going here. Psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely a part of it. One of the things I've noticed as well that was interesting about the Brookland tournament versus some other Marvel Snap tournaments like this, being in person, seeing your opponent sitting across the table from you is a whole different environment because you could be making faces at them. You could see how the crowd's reacting. It adds a whole new layer of mind games to Marvel Snap, something that I think is a bit underappreciated. You have emote spamming, you have reactions, you have Kang snapping, a lot of internal little mind games going on here in these tournament settings.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When I was in the tournament at SnapCon too, and it was in person, even though it was still, broadcast or whatever, I was like, okay, there's so many faces here looking at me, what I'm doing and everything too. Did I make the right call? Did I not make the right call? And you hear behind you, oh, he shouldn't have done that. And it gets you thinking. It really does.
It does. That's a whole different layer. Mind games compared to everything else going on the board here. All right, so C top decking leader, but nothing too big to counter on Sino's side. A whole lot of nothing going on in terms of their hands here.
Which is really interesting too. With the Thor play in an ARISHEM list, you're shuffling your cards once again, trying to get that Mjolnir. So it'll be interesting to see how that pays dividends with his final draw here on turn 6.
Yep, the Nor dimension, usually a favorable location, but not so much here when you are very limited with the board space from the squirrels. You also don't really need that extra energy when you are playing ARISHEM. But Sino is going to take advantage of the Jin, triggering the Negasonic, freeing up that space. This way he's able to play mid on this final turn. Smart move here from Sino.
Smart move by Sino and smart move by C not to play the leader out already.
Yep, hanging on to that leader for the final turn. Sino will likely keep priority here. Nope. Yes, the kitty goes back to the hand. Sino maintains priority and top decks Atuma. Or no, didn't top deck Atuma.
Lady Thor earlier to have gotten the Mjolnir, but...
That's true. So no Mjolnir here. A Lady Deathstrike on the final draw for C could actually get some pretty solid value. A lot of low-cost cards on the board here. Could flip a lane pretty easily, depending on where it's played.
These are honestly some pretty rough draws for both people here.
Yep, Mystique doing a whole lot of nothing. The Valkyrie, I think Sino's going to want to play that Jin before the Valkyrie to get the most value out of it. I'm curious to see if either player is going to retreat here. I wouldn't be feeling too confident if I was Sino or C in this scenario.
No, in this situation, I might honestly go for getting the Mystique, getting the extra 3 instead of a different card, so you can actually play out Mystique here. Even though you have no ongoings on the board. Okay.
The Nocturne moves, turning into Panopticon, so a huge buff for both players on the middle lane. I don't know why Sino didn't play Korg then Valkyrie. That seemed like a bit of a misplay. But it might not matter here. The leader steals the Valkyrie, buffs him anyway, so Ty on the left lane.
Is that Kitty Pride middle too? Big buff?
Kitty Pride middle, getting the Panopticon buff.
Oh
Ty's
my
left.
gosh!
Ty's middle and wins right by 2.
Holy
the Miss
moly.
Marvel diff. Wow.
The scrolls weren't an issue. Fun fact.
Yeah. The squirrel did not matter on the right side. And just like that, C takes 4 cubes off Sino here. Sino on his final 2 cubes, fighting for his tournament life to make it into the top 4 of this tournament.
We're in high stakes as well. And
Yep.
all 4 draws for C are from his original list.
Wow. Super lucky here from C. All the winning cards you need in hand. Sino also has his own Darkhawk. And we are moving on here with the Baxter building.
This Iceman hit honestly could be pretty vital for C as well if it hits something like a Darkhawk.
Not being able to play the Darkhawk till the final turn could make a difference here.
Oh my...
Commentator's curse, folks. Tuccrr willed it into existence. Totally unbiased commentary here from your boy Tuccrr. The Iceman does indeed hit the Darkhawk. Now, he can still play it on turn 5 because of the extra energy. You are able to play 6 drops on turn 5. But if he wanted to play it earlier for whatever reason, Sino has not yet seen the Goliath come down from C, so he might not be aware of it.
The Loki might be a good play here, too, to get a discounted Darkhawk since your Darkhawk does cost 6 now.
That's correct.
We do have 5 out of 6 of these draws have been C's cards here.
And he does go for the Loki. He doesn't get the Darkhawk, but he does get a Blob and a Mystique. So pretty solid Loki value, as well as the Shang-Chi. Now, the Black Bolt may not do a whole lot for Sino here, but I think with that discount from the Loki, Sino is now in much better shape than he was a turn ago.
This is going to be really, really interesting.
Okay, he does go for the Black Bolt, taking out the Moon Knight there. C opts for the Darkhawk mid, looking pretty solid. Sino feels confident in just taking it out immediately with the Shang-Chi. A bit late to try and compete for Raft for both players here, so I think we're not going to see them going there. No Mystique in hand for C, I don't think. So that Darkhawk's going to get cooked mid. Sino in a much stronger position than he was a couple turns ago here.
Sino does take priority, though. So this could be a potential cannonball play for C after this. Oh.
Again with the hard read on the Shang-Chi from C. I don't know if that was the right choice there. Clearly it wasn't. And Sino going for some tricky stuff here. The Cannonball is a direct counter to Blob. The Blob would not move if hit by the Cannonball. It would just die. So I think Sino might be cognizant of that and maybe trying to trick C here by playing the Blob on the right lane compared to the Baxter building, which would seem like the obvious play.
Which would just a Cannonball play on the Blob there. It doesn't necessarily win C the game because there's so much power in the middle lane by Sino. So I do think, like what you're saying, the Blob far right makes the most sense.
A retreat here from C, even though locked in for 2 cubes, doesn't want to reveal all the tricks just yet.
We've not seen the Cannonball just yet.
That's right. And I think C was aware of that, keeping it safe and moving on to the next round. He's got some cubes to work with. The element of surprise still on C's side here, and of course the advantage.
And we get both players, I believe, drawing 3 of their cards, unless Nocturne is not from C's original list. Ooh.
Speak of the devil, Sino also drawing Nocturne here and getting the Nocturne from Daily Bugle. So he now knows that the Nocturne exists. C going for the Moon Knight.
Ooh, great hit, honestly, for C on his end, too, hitting his ARISHEM instead of a key card for himself.
Yep. Definitely risky with the Shang-Chi in hand to play that Moon Knight. There's the top deck Kang, but unfortunately a turn too early. Needs to be turn 4 in order to play the Kang to get the max value there, but still capable of a Kang snap later in the game. For those of you who don't know, Kang is not a very played card. You don't see him too often, so what Kang does is he restarts the turn after play. He's an on-reveal card. He basically lets the turn play out and then resets everything back to the prior state. The benefit of playing Kang in a list like this is if you play him on curve when you draw him, you're able to draw an extra card. Also, one of the cheeky things about Kang is you can snap and then play Kang. The Kang will then rewind the turn and the snap will be erased. So if there's any new people out there who doesn't know what Kang is all about, there you go.
We do get a raw Quinjet from just the ARISHEM draws over here too.
And there is the Kang. No bother snapping here because Sino is already locked in for his final 2 cubes. So all he does is see that Quinjet will be played right. Not a whole lot of value out of Kang there. Still top decking the Blob because the Kang was not the top decked card.
Do we go for the White Tiger? Or do we go for a Nick Fury here, knowing we will have 6 energy on this next turn? Go for the White Tiger. Okay.
All right. White Tiger jumping over to the left lane. Priority taken here for C. The Nocturne on the Mojo World could be a cheeky way to steal that right lane. But Sino is locked up in that middle lane right now. Is he going to move it now or wait until later?
And we also have a cheeky play here by C. C playing Blob into Crimson Cosmos means it cannot be rogued or mystiqued. It can only be Shang-Chi'd.
Correct. That is one of my least favorite locations. I've been seeing it more and more lately, and man, it just feels real bad sometimes not being able to play those cheaper costs in any lane or in that lane. All right,
especially. Oh, big Blob. Oh.
And bad lad hit there for Sino. The Mockingbird doing nothing, and now C knows the Mockingbird is in hand. Yeah, he's struggling there. He's expressing frustration at that Crimson Cosmos. The only thing he's able to play over there is the Mockingbird. That's not going to be enough to deal with the Blob. He can't rogue the Blob either. This is looking a bit grim for Sino. He's going to need another Mrs. Wolf-style miracle play here from Nocturne to try and take this.
But the thing is, he does have a free Mockingbird, which is very nice for him. It really just depends on how much does C commit to the right lane. Is he trying to go more for a Mojo World win, or is he trying to go for a Daily Bugle win?
Well, I don't know how many cards C can play on the right lane, so it might not be beneficial to move the Nocturne on the right lane. The Mojo World might actually wind up benefiting Sino more here, but C does have a lot of cards in hand. I'm assuming he's considering Sino moving the Nocturne over to Mojo World. A lot of mind games happening once again here. I would almost consider, if I was Sino, moving the Nocturne left, playing Mockingbird mid, and then filling up that right lane to try and get the Mojo World advantage. What would you do here?
No, I think I like the idea of just filling up that right lane. Makes a lot of sense to me. Ooh, and it's nowhere.
I don't know if this is going to be enough power mid for Sino. The Rogue doesn't do much there. What else does he got?
The Nick Fury.
Wow.
C wins on
So there you go. If Sino didn't move the Nocturne right and did play for the Mojo World, he would have won tiebreaker because you would have had that extra 100 power. So unfortunately, the Nocturne winds up losing Sino the game, and C advances. Anarchy.
Anarchy, a very, very tough final turn too. Like you said, the mind games of, if I had done this before, would this have been better? If I had moved the Nocturne last turn, I would have been able to rogue and then Mystique to get myself 2 blobs there. But of course, this is all in hindsight.
Yes.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward as C does take the dub over here, and we are about to get the bracket ready for the semifinals.
That's right. We have the dream scenario here. 2 members from the Kingdom in C and Helkin against 2 members from PWROn Gaming, the White Wayne Brady, as well as Gregor, 24-24. Very good competitors here in our top 4. We're going to be getting those matches set up for you shortly. But before we do that, a reminder, we are doing giveaways all stream here. Hashtag PWROn, PWRON. If you want to enter those giveaways, what are we giving away, Tucker?
We're giving away a premium untapped as well as a season pass, my friend.
Yes. So we're going to be doing one of those giveaways right now. Last call if you have not entered the giveaway. Hashtag PWROn to enter if you guys want to win the untapped premium subscription as well as the season pass. All right, Abra, congratulations, Abra001. You have won the premium untapped subscription. Congratulations. And then we're going to be doing one more draw here before we go to break for the season pass. Who is it going to be? The White Wayne Brady, one of our top 4 members of this tournament here. Congratulations to Brady winning the season pass.
Let's go, Brady.
We'll be seeing a bit more of Brady in just a bit, but for now, we're going to leave you with some messages from our sponsors and partners here.
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes.
Oh my.
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking it back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the right.
Gets him over the
Gonna win
top.
it.
And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.
ladies and gentlemen, we are heading into the semi-finals of ARISHEM Anarchy, and this has been nothing less than absolute anarchy this entire tournament. Holy moly, Parry.
We are living up to the name, certainly. Nothing short of anarchy across multiple games here. We've seen everything from Kang to your typical Blobs and Darkhawks, your Lokis, some crazy stuff with Absman and Taskmaster. Lots of exciting decks still to be played here in these final 4 matches.
Yeah, and these 4 lists do look very different from each other. We have some similar cards, but we have some different win conditions from some of these other typical situations I've seen.
Yes, so we're going to be getting into our first game of the semifinals here. Our top 4 competitors. We have C up against White Wayne Brady as our first match, followed directly by Helkin and Gregor. So those are our top 4. Exclamation point bracket if you guys want to see the bracket, what it's going to look like for the rest of the tournament. And we do have our match ready to go, so we will get started in just a second here. Okay, and we're also going to be doing another giveaway. We've been giving away stuff all stream, guys. Hashtag PWROn if you want to enter these giveaways. What are we giving away, Tucker?
We're giving an untapped premium away right now.
Right now. Wow. Okay, so we are just like that. We have given away another untapped premium subscription. Laszlo09, congratulations. Bar Monk, it's at PWRON for PWROn. Hashtag PWROn, not exclamation point, if you want to get in there. But we'll be doing more throughout the stream here. Let's get into our first match.
And we have a match, honestly, we've been kind of looking forward to, I'd say, right now.
Yeah, we just saw 2 of the most unique decks in the whole tournament, I would say. As you see, we are watching White Wayne Brady's screen here with Uatu. Uatu's run in his deck, trying to get some value from knowing that 3rd location ahead of time. Unfortunately for Brady, though, he does have a Uatu generated by ARISHEM in his hand. So the value typically comes from Uatu staying in the deck, but also getting the effect. And we see up top there, C rocking the Kang in the deck.
And we do have Subterranea coming down first, which is why I believe Brady was more comfortable playing the Maximus because of that situation there.
Yep. Unfortunately, no rocks drawn here for C, for Brady, unfortunately, I should say. Brady playing into that right location. I did not see what it was, but could be doing some mind games here. Polaris moving the Maximus off the right location.
Right.
And it is Nidavellir, indeed. So, we have Brady drawing the rock. No rocks drawn yet for C, despite having 2 extra cards drawn in there.
Ooh, Samurai hits the Rogue, which is very good.
Giga value there on the Silver Samurai, taking away one of the win conditions, or one of the counters to the win conditions for C there, or for White Wayne Brady.
And we see the rocks continue to fall into C and into Brady's list over here. We have very interesting cards for Brady right now. He could play the Absorbman Taskmaster probably later in the game if we were seeing a potential turn 5 play, or just he's playing maybe a tempo Absorbman. It's going to be very interesting to see how this round progresses.
Yes, indeed. All right, so we have the Absorbing Man coming down here, hitting nothing, just going for stats, trying to get the most value you can out of Nidavellir. And look at that. Brady drawing the Cersei and C drawing the Cannonball. 2 great cards here for both players. But it looks like we might see a leader play here, in which case we're going to get a double Cersei.
Oh,
what is this, Tucker?
This is Anarchy! Oh my gosh! No!
There it is.
Oh my gosh.
The classic Cersei on the 4, turning into MODOK. Let's see.
Oh? Oh my gosh. Oh.
Okay. So that worked out a bit better there for C than Brady, I would say. But Brady, with a top deck of Blob here, unfortunately no way to win the right lane. And 1 card left in the hand. This should be an easy retreat here for Brady for 1 cube.
Yes, it definitely looks like an easy retreat here. We did get complete and utter anarchy over there with the Modok play into Viserys. I was hoping, honestly, a little bit for a double Modok for the Samurai to turn into Modok as
That
well.
would have been funny. That would have been pretty funny. But unfortunately here, Brady gonna smartly retreat. That was, I think if anyone has played Cersei, that has happened to you. If you transformed to 5-cost with Cersei, chances are you have hit a Modok at least once before. We've all been there.
Or Destroyer.
Yes, Destroyer as well on the 5 to 6. Devastating. I think that happened to someone here pretty recently. Is that right, though?
Yep, I actually hit a Destroyer, but actually was able to win the game.
Wow, look at this. What we're seeing here.
Oh
Huge
my
Uatu value for Brady, knowing that the game is going to be over in 4 turns. Unfortunately for him, though, not a whole lot he can do about it with the hand he's got here.
These locations are honestly pretty bad. Defso main, and we get Washington, but this Groot could make or break potentially this location.
Indeed, we're not going to be able to... Well, we will get a Darkhawk play available because we do have that extra energy from ARISHEM. Moon Knight could have something to say about it, but dodges.
Oh, and it's a Proxima!
Wow, huge value there from the Moon Knight hitting the Proxima. Brady,
and we can't get some
unfortunately...
zero tech here also for the DC.
And Brady does draw the Uatu, which is so unfortunate. You hate to see it. If you're playing Uatu, you never want to see that card in your hand. And Brady has now seen him twice.
But with TVA, it's a playable card, which honestly could be pretty good for Brady.
That is true. He is able to put some stats on the board here with the Darkhawk coming down next turn. C is snapping, feeling pretty confident here.
Exactly the zero tech we were talking about.
Yep, 0 into Uatu, just putting some stats on the board, getting some benefit from the Washington, D.C. Negasonic coming down on the right side, so no snipe there on the Negasonic. Unless C has a way to play left, I think Brady's in good shape here, but he did just top deck a Shang-Chi. Brady with priority. If C goes for one of his patented soul reads here, Brady might be in trouble. This is going to be very interesting.
If they go for a soul raid here, this would be a tie game with the Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi would add 3 to the middle lane. That would be 15 power for both players. Brady hovering over the Darkhawk, thinking about his options, wondering if a Shang-Chi could be coming down. He's got to take the risk, though. And it looks like at the last second here, C switching up his play to the Shang-Chi. Instead of the Black Bolt, it does wind up being a tie. 4 cubes. A push with the tie. We've seen quite a few ties. Well, not straight up ties so far. We've seen some ties on lanes here. But a last second switch up there from C saves him from losing 4 cubes.
Very, very interesting play there by C.
He's been doing the soul read Shangs all game so far. I didn't get to see what that left location was, but a turn 1 Pixie. Talk about some anarchy. If you guys know me, you know Pixie is one of my most hated cards in Marvel Snap. I think that card is straight up hot garbage because, again, my RNG is just terrible. I wind up drawing 6-cost sunspots all the time. So let's see if it winds up working out for Brady here.
Oh, another Nidavellir.
Another right location Nidavellir, but it's not real, Tuccrr.
Does not exist.
It's not real. I actually had someone from Second Dinner in my chat yesterday, and I called it out. And I got a no comment back. No comment there on the location batching. I don't know. In Conquest, it just seems to happen a little too often.
Oh my.
Jubilee pulling Gambit. Not great value destroying the Domino there. And Legion coming down on Thunderbolt's tower. So we're going to see a whole lot of red numbers here. With these location sapping, these power sapping locations. Great hand on C side here. The Rogue, the Blob, the Loki, the Goliath. Options aplenty for C. Less so for Brady here. Not getting any value off the Pixie yet so far, by the way.
I was about to say the pixie value inside an ARISHEM list seems interesting because it only hits the cards you had put into your list before ARISHEM had actually done anything.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
It's like with Thanos of the Stones. The stones don't affect.
They don't start in your deck, right? Good to know. See, I don't play this garbage card, so I wouldn't have known that interaction. But Tuccrr here, keeping y'all informed. This is why we balance each other out. Yeah.
Oh, we actually like the rogue into the red.
Wow,
skull.
a bad soul read here from C, roguing the red skull. Brady taking advantage of that, no longer having to deal with the downside to red skull, instead getting the buff. Easy snap for Brady here. This should probably be a retreat. Although, C does still have quite a few good cards in hand here.
The pocket cannonball.
Pocket cannonball can just sometimes win you a game. Will he stick this out? Yep. He goofed on that rogue. Does go for the retreat. Only one cube. Probably the right decision there. Went for a hard read. Did not pay off. We are currently in the semifinals here. The first game of 2 in the semifinals. This is the White Wayne Brady against C. 1 Kingdom, 1 PWROn. And we again have Gregor and Helkin coming up next after this one.
This is also very interesting. This is our last normal round before high stakes. So this could be the last time you could retreat for 1 cube going into the rest of the games.
Yep. Brady seeing that 3rd location early because of his Uatu in deck. Not a huge benefit there knowing what it is with the hub. But at least he didn't draw the Uatu yet. I could have sworn that was going to be Uatu.
Both players also did draw 3 of their cards with their first draws.
That is true. Silver Samurai in hand on deck for C. Could get some value hitting that Taskmaster here. Goes for the Moon Knight mid. Just for some stats. No draw for C here because of that Widow's Bite. Taking up a very valuable board spot now as well if C wants to draw more cards. And C's going to go for the Silver Samurai here, which should be hitting Brady's Taskmaster. So good value on that Samurai.
Rest in peace, Taskmaster.
See ya.
Let's be in a pocket. Hella.
It's very possible. You never know in this Anarchy tournament here. Iron Lad could hit it right now.
Oh.
But no. Unfortunate Iron Lad hit there on the Shang-Chi. Now C knows exactly what he has to look out for with the intel gained from that Iron Lad. One of the double-edged sword effects of Iron Lad there.
And we go for a Loki here because we don't have a Darkhawk or a Blob, I would say, in hand. We do have the Shang-Chi, but...
And just like that, Brady with a very fruitful Loki, pulling the Blob and Goliath. A very poor Baron Zemo with pulling the Uatu, but it does take out 11 power with the Hala. Uatu diff.
Damn.
So huge swings in both directions there. Brady with a much better hand than he had, but minus 11 power on the board. He can make that up real quick with one of these Fatzos, though. C is going to go for a Rogue Goliath here on the right. Just hard read after hard read. I like the commitment to the bid at the very least.
Oh,
and wow, what a top deck from Brady here with the Mystique. That might be exactly what he needed to get this dub. Able to play Mystique and Cannonball in the same turn. Filthy stuff here from Brady.
But without priority and with this rogue here, Mystique does not do anything, unfortunately.
No, she does not. The rogue stealing the blob with priority. Again, makes such a huge difference. The Goliath will not die because the silk has moved, but it doesn't matter here. C taking it. 2 cubes here for C.
That's just the difference of priority there. With priority, Mystique more often than not will win that over there on the left with the blob. But since Rogue went off first, no
Brady
Mystique.
had the right play, but unfortunately, he did not see the Rogue coming.
But for 2, honestly, that's not a bad trade.
Nope, worth a risk. If I was C and I snapped, I would have probably retreated if I was Brady, so I think that was the right play there for just 2. Some right location intel here, knowing Icebox is coming. Brady with a turn 1 Sunspot, good play.
Are we going to see a Havoc middle on Oscorp to decrease the amount of energy that
That
gets
would
for the rest
be
of the game?
pretty filthy. I wonder if Brady's thinking about it. He might be able to do it next turn. This way he doesn't cost himself too much energy. Goes for the float here. This could be filthy on Brady's side. Icebox hits the dog. And cannonball.
Oh, he goes for the snap into the havoc. Yes, of course.
He saw it. He saw the play. He snaps here. We are in high stakes round, so this could be 4 cubes. Does C see it coming? So if this were... How much energy would C be left with for the rest of the game? The havoc would go over. It would trigger at the end of next turn.
It'll be like a normal game, normal energy.
When does havoc trigger actually? Will it be after the Oscorp Tower or before? I believe it's after the Oscorp Tower, right?
It'll be after the Oscorp Tower.
Okay, so C smartly retreating here. 2 cubes for Brady. We have evened it up
on the Oscorp Tower before the retreat.
I mean, if not knowing it was havoc, it could have been Electro as well. That would have been pretty debilitating. Definitely a smart retreat there from C.
Yeah, he knew something was up.
Yep. But easy 2 cubes for Brady without having to reveal too much either. So smart snap by him. And we go on to the next round here. 7 cubes apiece.
All tied up.
Shuri's Lab could get pretty nutty here. Both players with Darkhawk in hand. However, Shuri's Lab does not multiply the Darkhawk's ongoing power, just the base power.
There we go.
Blob is really where you'll see the crazy numbers for Shuri's Lab. Brady looking pretty comfortable here with Rogue and Darkhawk in hand. Do a little mind games here, knowing what that third location is. Brady likes to emote that third location.
Does he draw his Watu with the third location is the question.
He very well might. The white woman coming down in the middle lane.
It's a good tech to fill up that lane so you can kind of limit the amount of Jins you actually draw.
Oh, sure enough, there it is. The beautiful Pixel Uatu winding up in Brady's hand because of the Hell's Kitchen. C with a full hand right now. Got to dump some of those cards to make way for the better cards you want to draw. Brady going with Typhoid Mary here on Shuri's Lab. Interesting call. He will get 20 power from it, but all of his cards will be reduced by 1 because of her ability.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Do we think we get a pocket Luke Cage out of nowhere?
Pocket Luke Cage would be huge value for Brady. That's a lot to bank on, though. C goes for War Machine here. Not going to get any extra utility out of it. Just some 12 stats on the board. And Brady going with the Mary. Now, some interesting tech here with Typhoid Mary could potentially be some rogue bait. If you double up with the Darkhawk and the Typhoid Mary in the lane, it could make the opponent's rogue a lot less appealing. But C with a blob top deck here, quite strong for the left location if he chooses to play it there.
Yeah, blob into Shuri's Lab and then doubling afterwards is disgusting.
So able to play the blob out on turn 4 because of the extra energy from the Jin. Big ol' blob there. Immediate snap from Brady after seeing the blob come down. Interesting call here. Brady goes Darkhawk mid. Now, he's not going to be able to use that Cosmo, but he could protect his own Darkhawk with it.
And he could go Rogue into Mystica. Snap back!
Wow, just like that, our first snapback. We could be going to the end of the game here. This could be everything, folks. Brady doesn't have priority here, so he's taking a risk with the Mystique and the Rogue, but no answer from C. This could be huge for Brady here to advance to the finals. I don't know if I agree with the snapback. Could be... I mean, it's not even a bluff because you can't retreat now.
Yeah.
You would have to force Brady to retreat here. Or no, I guess it was...
Brady snap back. C
Okay.
snap, I guess, with the blob.
Okay, so C with, I'm sorry, I messed that up, folks. C with the immediate snap on the blob, Brady with the snapback, forcing C to retreat there. So only 2 cubes lost. Mind games aplenty between these two. I love it. A whole lot of anarchy.
Ooh.
All right, a pretty paltry hand here for Brady. Quake could be interesting. We haven't seen what that third location is yet. Ooh, some Uatu value there. Getting a head start on the raft.
Sinister
Goes for the early
always
Quake.
gets crazy with blobs too.
Oh, yeah. All right, we have the Wakandan Embassy coming out. Brady with a nice Sinister pull here. Mr. Sinister, that is. Could help him fill up this raft location before it's even revealed. But instead chooses to go for the buffed Doctor Strange from Wakandan Embassy. Nothing happening on Seaside so far. The raft is revealed. Uatu, I'm sorry, not Uatu, Atuma drawn for Brady. So actually some sneaky Atuma value could be had here. I think Brady sees it as well with the null in hand. Double Atuma. But the Silver Samurai, huge value for C. Getting rid of that null. All of a sudden, the Atuma has now become a liability.
Oh my goodness.
I saw the play, but unfortunately, the Samurai was the perfect counter that C needed to take advantage there. Brady going to be forced to retreat after the snap from C.
What a great tech with the Silver Samurai. Getting more usage, honestly, hitting a null in that situation opposed to the blob.
Escaped.
Yep, that is how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Samurai getting some value there for C.
Round 8, by the way, of this match over here.
Both players still with 5 cubes, holding strong. It has been back and forth, a battle of titans. And Nexus. Real cheeky. Ooh,
oh
a
my
Mount Vesuvius as well. So Brady with an early turn 1 snap, knowing that this is Mount Vesuvius. Uatu giving him that intel.
Oh my gosh. We're in for 4.
We are locked in for 4, and C will only be able to retreat and save 1 cube before the Mount Vesuvius, before turn 5.
And we get a Loki.
So Brady top decks Loki here. Both players unable to play much heading into turn 3. The Loki would get rid of his Darkhawk and Cersei. I don't know if he wants to do that. Wow.
We float again. Oh my gosh.
Look at this. Both players just floating and waiting. Turn 4, nothing played. Both Darkhawks in hand. We have a Rogue on Brady's side. We have a Cannonball on C's side. They match their Hawks.
It's going to be a priority battle, honestly, going into this turn 5 here.
Huge top deck here for Brady with Blob. The Valkyrie could also make an appearance here, although it's not going to affect that ongoing value. Cannonball could be absolutely huge for C here. Now, when both players are tied, priority is determined by a coin flip, and Brady currently has priority. So the Rogue will take the Darkhawk here. If C goes for the Black Bolt, it would wind up hitting Drax or Loki, so nothing too devastating there. What is C going to answer with here? This is crazy. This is absolute anarchy, Tucker. There's no retreats after this turn. If they lock it in, this is it. This is the final round here.
Oh my word.
No retreating.
Here we go. Here we go. Oh my.
Darkhawk goes down. A whopping 69 power for a moment on the Nexus until the Blob eats up both of those Hawks.
Oh my gosh.
A top-decked Shang-Chi from the White Wayne Brady. Cannonball's only going to be able to move one of them.
The leader gets a Shang-Chi, though, if Brady decides to Shang-Chi.
Man, the mind games here are crazy. The leader, the Shang-Chi. My goodness, folks. How is this going to wind up resolving to make it to the finals? There's no retreating here. They're locked in. Brady goes for the Thanos play instead of the Shang-Chi. The leader's not enough. A nice read from Brady, and he takes it over C.
Wow.
Advancing to the finals.
Great game.
Incredible finish there. So many mind games from both players. Well played to see. Uatu getting the value. Brady turn one snapping, knowing that they were going to be locked in for 4 cubes that game. Crazy.
That's the tech literally you were talking about with your dark horse, with Brady. The Watu value, it's starting in your deck opposed to just getting it from ARISHEM, knowing what's going to happen, being able to start out also with it being the Raft the previous turn. It is just so solid. I like what we got going on here.
The off-meta king, the White Wayne Brady, advances to the finals where he will face the winner of our next match, Gregor and Helkin. Will we have an all PWROn finals, or will we have a Kingdom versus PWROn finals? We'll be finding out shortly. But remember, guys, if you are enjoying the gameplay, you're enjoying the hype, make sure you are dropping follows to PWROn Gaming. We're going to be doing events like this in the future. Lots of fun stuff coming up, including an in-person tournament in New York City at Brooklyn. So let's show you guys what Brooklyn is all about here before we get into our next match.
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes! Oh my!
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking it back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the right.
Gets him over the
Gonna win
top.
it.
And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and headed into our next round of the semifinals. But first, we're going to be doing another giveaway. What are we giving away, Parry?
Oh, we are giving away a subscription to Untapped Premium Tuccrr as well as a season pass. If you guys want to get into the giveaway, it is #PWRON, PWRON, to get into those giveaways. We'll be doing those shortly, and we get into our next match between Helkin and Gregor 2424.
Let's go.
So make sure. Superstar Beta has won a season pass. Congratulations, Superstar. One of the oldest Fanelos out there. One of the people who has been watching me since the beginning. So congratulations, Superstar. You have won yourself a season pass. Again, get in here with #PWRON if you want a chance to win another prize. We're going to be giving away an Untapped Premium subscription in just a second here. Okay, and congratulations to HXGXC. You have won the Untapped Premium. Congratulations. We'll be doing more giveaways before the stream is over. Again, we have 2 more matches before this tournament is wrapped up, Tuccrr. We have the semifinals here between Helkin and Gregor, as well as the winner, the finals. Whoever wins this will be up against the dark hawk horse of the stream, of the tournament, the White Wayne Brady.
The Watu Wayne Brady is
I think-
freaking killing it.
I think he might have to change his name to the Uatu Wayne Brady. That's great. I love that. Incredible.
Oh, man, I love it.
It's crazy to see in these kinds of tournament settings, just the most unlikely cards providing value. And that is one of the things Brady is the best at, finding these cards that may have been forgotten by the mainstream. The Meadow Lords wouldn't even give it a second look. And here it is, providing extreme value in the highest of pressure situations.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I think the stakes have truly been raised each and every round. We're seeing, like, we're talking about cube management, but I feel like especially that was a very prime example last round of if you just don't have the nuts, you retreat. But when you got the nuts, you got the Watu. You snap into it just because you're going to be able to just either surprise people or you have the tech to be able to, go burr.
Oh, he went burr, all right. He went burr. There was some just the mind games being played is masterful. Like seeing both of those players, C going for some crazy hard reads, some of them paying off, some of them not. But I love the respect each other have, or the respect each player was giving each other, and just the wild plays being made. Truly some incredible stuff here.
Yeah, truly some soul reads that we've seen in this tournament. And then some instances we're like, wait, why are you doing that? But it might be just they're throwing priority right now because they want to do something else. And like it's just there. We don't necessarily know what they're thinking.
Nope.
We only know what we would be playing in that situation. But no, we have had an absolutely amazing set of contestants today, and they have been freaking pushing themselves and each opponent to the limits.
Absolutely. And we're going to be continuing to see that in our next game here with Helkin and Gregor. Are we ready to go to that match? All right, they are still getting set up, so we will continue to entertain you folks until they are ready to go. Let's see some ones in the chat. It's been a minute since we've asked for some PWROn ones in chat. I know you guys got them. Show off your badge collection. Let's see that chat flooded with all those beautiful ones. PWROn, baby.
Huge shout out to Default Dan for all the layouts, all the overlays that we're using today.
Yes, big shout out to PWROn's own Default Dan, making waves in the Lorcana scene and doing some great overlay work. But here we go. We are getting into the semifinal match. Gregor versus Helkin. We have an immediate snap here. We have Helkin mashing the snap button. What is going on here? I have not seen mashing like that since Marvel vs. Capcom. What is going on here? Snapping the goose?
Helkin was talking about turn one snapping pretty much the entire tournament before we started. He was telling me about that.
So no matter the hand, going for the turn one snap. That sounds like anarchy to me.
Oh my word. And he does get the Quinjet though from turn two. So maybe he knew something we didn't know.
The Quinjet top deck turn two, gonna get some good value throughout the rest of the game. Gregor here accepting the snap, a full hand of cards here, including Supergiant. How do you feel about Supergiant, Tuccrr? That's one of those underrated cards, I feel.
I do think she is an underrated card. I have a theory that she might be the card that we get for the Cassandra Nova week for next season. But I like what she can add to the game. When we're talking about mind games, we're talking about King. We're talking about a card that's maybe more playable and combo setting up cards. I think Supergiant definitely is up there for the craziness.
Supergiant's one of those cards, too, that can be used both offensively and defensively. Being able to disrupt your opponent who is going for combo plays, who are going, especially in normal games, that turn 5 is so important to so many decks here. But we are continuing on with this match. We got Athena play with Agent Coulson. Helkin, yeah, we have 2 move locations here. So Helkin filling up Great Web to keep the randomness to a minimum. Gregor playing a bunch of cards out here, including Gladiator, which snipes the Man-Thing. and Nova on the right location. I didn't see what cards Gregor hid under Supergiant. Did you?
I did not see either.
All right, maybe someone in chat could help us out there.
Oh my.
I think it also might have been a slight misplay here from Helkin hiding that Red Hulk behind Supergiant, because with it not being in hand or on board revealed, it's not going to get that extra power bonus.
Unless he was hiding it from a Shang-Chi, potentially.
Could also be potentially hiding from Shang-Chi. Gregor with priority here. We are going to get a whole bunch of crazy things happening here with the moving. Wow, they're just locking in, going quick here. They are taking some quick turns. Gregor with the Juggernaut.
Oh my god.
The Silk moves right. The Thing left. The
Okay.
Shang-Chi does nothing. The Silk moves back left, but the final card revealing there, Red Hulk will move the Silk over to the right lane. Gregor's got a Mockingbird of his own and a Daredevil right. I think Helkin might have just stolen it there with the Supergiant Red Hulk being revealed.
And if not, Captain Marvel could have gone to another lane after that turn 1 snap by Helkin, by the way.
Paying off big time with 4 Qs for Helkin. That was a very fast match. A lot of immediate turn 1 snap again from Helkin. He's feeling himself.
My gosh. And a snap back. Was that a snap back from Gregor?
I think it might have been a snap back from Gregor here, not being intimidated by Helkin's tactics, being down 4 cubes. They're locked in.
Oh my gosh.
Was it? No, it was just one.
No, okay. I don't know. I thought I saw the animation go off twice.
I thought I did too, but we did not. Gregor instead gets a turn 1 Quinjet down, some great value for him. Drawing the Super Skrull as well. We haven't seen a whole lot of Super Skrull since the mirror match earlier with the Super Skrulls. They are playing real fast. I am surprised. They are not using this timer at all.
Oh my gosh! Deep space on Quinjet though.
Ooh, bad turn of events there. If he had Uatu, he would have known that was coming. But the Quinjet no longer getting value here.
50-50.
These players are playing like they got dinner waiting for them. They are just flying through these games. The timer is not even moving. Is this speed snap? Did we change the rule set all of a sudden?
It might be. Oh my gosh, is Helkin going to go for a Galactus play here?
He does have the Galactus. He's keeping that middle lane open. Heimdall does nothing. A whiff on the Gamora, so no G-Man for Helkin here. But he top decks Leech.
First Leech we've seen of the tournament, by the way.
First Leech we've seen of the tournament. This is run in the deck as well. There it comes. It does kill the Shang-Chi. Gregor in a bit of trouble here. Trying to get something bailing him out with the Agent Coulson. Nothing great there with Lockjaw and Nimrod. I think this should probably wind up being a retreat for Gregor. I don't think he's got a whole lot to work with here. Yeah, smart retreat here from Gregor. Being bullied by Helkin right now.
Oh my gosh!
This is remarkable. Helkin with no chill.
The tempo! It's crazy!
Yeah, he's playing tempo on tempo out here.
Snap again by Helkin, turn 1!
This is wild, folks.
Oh
Immediate turn 1 snap. Locations be damned. Hand be damned.
This is insanity. This is anarchy!
There it is. Gregor with a turn 1 Nico with the draw 2, so that's good for Gregor. Into the Fastos could get him some giga value here. Also 2 rogues from the Time Theater. This is probably the best chance Gregor's had so far. And look at that.
Ooh.
Some juicy cards drawn. I'm sure he would have liked some cost reduction there instead of the power, because he's not able to play either of those right now. And he snaps back? Did we actually see the snapback this time?
It was the snapback this time, yes.
Okay, so he's feeling himself here with the Blink and the Black Bolt. 2 rogues on deck. Not a whole lot working in Helkin's favor here, but he will not be deterred, it seems. Actually taking his time. Oh, wow, look at this. The tables have turned.
Hey!
Escaped.
The tables have turned here. Helkin is mortal after all. He can feel fear. Gregor rising to the challenge and snapping back, intimidating Helkin. He said, "I will not be bullied."
Last round before high stakes, by the way. And I don't know if you saw before, but Helkin does have an inked ARISHEM that we are seeing every single beginning of the game. Oh,
I did see that, and look at that. You also, no turn 1 snap here from Helkin this time.
Turn 2 snap, though.
A turn 2 snap this time.
Oh my gosh.
Gregor
wow.
smartly retreating for 1 cube here. The last round before the high stakes take effect.
Bullying.
So it's a back and forth bully session with the snapping here. This is the most aggressive snapping we've seen so far, but we do have high stakes. Gregor locked in for 2 here.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and Helkin gets it. God, and that's a snap again. Oh,
there it is. The turn 1 snap to start right off the bat. Gregor can retreat here and live to fight 1 more game, or he can accept it as this being his fate. Will he put all of his trust in that trash card pixie? Let's see. Totally unbiased commentary here, folks.
Man,
he does.
Helkin's hands so good right now too. Oh my!
And Arnim Zola with the Darkhawk in hand. This could be absolutely filthy for Helkin here with cloning vats too. Gregor's got the Rogue on deck though, and the Blob. Blob on cloning vats could go pretty hard too. This is gonna be spicy. Oh, wow. Talk about some anarchy here. The Quantum Tunnel, a built-in lockjaw as the location. Helkin's going for it. Agent Coulson bricking the hand. What are we going to get from the deck? A Cyclops here. Nothing too great. Gregor opts for the Nick Fury instead. Both players' hands full.
Gosh.
Super Scroll value going to be pretty crazy here, too. The Super Scroll could be the key for Gregor winning this matchup. An excellent draw here, especially with the cloning vats. The problem is that right location. It's going to be all up to fate. Do you think Helkin's going to go for the Zola on the Darkhawk, Tucker?
Yes.
That would be a very solid way to win that right location. Gregor going for the Super Scroll here. So now this is going to be some interesting mind games with the Blob as well as the Super Scroll.
And if I'm not mistaken, if this is Zolad, it counts as 2 Darkhawks for Super Scroll?
It will. Super Scroll will get both the abilities of, or get both Darkhawk's abilities there. So Helkin not going for the Zola, possibly knowing that with the Super Scroll down. Instead goes for Super Giant. And Gregor with another Super Scroll there. Firm control of the left and middle lanes. Helkin top decks Magneto, which will pull the Super Scrolls to the right lane. Gregor could not be expecting a Magneto here. Will he be able to play around it? And Ultron might be an interesting play as well.
Ultron saves.
This is wild. Where... Oh, the Magneto is so disruptive, pulling those scrolls to the right lane, but Gregor with priority, if he knew a Magneto was coming, would be able to play the Ultron and block up that right lane. But where will he play it? I feel like he'll play it right. He can't possibly expect the Magneto here, right? This is it. He does play. Oh, wait. No, Super Giant. It was final turn.
This Blob, Magneto turns into Blob.
That's the only way. It's
oh my
Infinite.
gosh.
That's not going to do it. Gregor with the hard read of the Ultron there on the left lane, blocking the Magneto, pulling the 2 scrolls over. Crazy.
Incredible play.
Incredible play from Gregor there, staying alive in this semifinal match. The Super Giant on turn 5. I don't know what Helkin was thinking with that. Did he think it would have changed priority, perhaps?
I think that's what he was thinking. He was thinking maybe Gregor would have played more into probably Quantum Tunnel, so he was going to have the tempo for other lanes, but...
A very interesting play there indeed. The Magneto would have been brilliant pulling both those Super Scrolls over. And again, the Valentina results in a A much better hand here for Helkin, then Gregor with the Coulson, the Zola, the Gambit as well. Could be very, very spicy. Just when you thought the age of bullying was over, the snap comes back again. Gregor can retreat here and stay alive. This hand is not great, but he's sticking it out.
He does clog Helkin's hand with this play too, which is pretty good.
Cannonball generated from the Agent Coulson here.
Ooh.
So, we have Gregor top decking the Rogue here. Helkin not able to draw due to the Crystal and the Agent Coulson bricking the hand. Helkin opts to go for the Thor, which will again shuffle your deck and add that Mjolnir into it. Still thinking about his play though here. Throne Room is going to be a huge rotation for both players because that can easily be won by a big old card. Ooh, a top-decked Echo here from Helkin. If Gregor opts to go for Super Scroll, he doesn't. That could have been spicy, though. So the Hawk taking effect here, turning off all the locations for one turn. No cards move. Miniaturized Lab now being accessible to both players. I am just shocked at how quickly Helkin's playing here. Like, it's remarkable to me. No, just immediate plays. Gregor goes for the Blink on the Hawk, pulls out Mockingbird. Solid value there on the Blink. Gregor with priority going into the final turn.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word.
Helkin with the pure Anarchy play here. A 50-50 Zola on Blob, as well as the Gambit.
No Shang-Chi, so he goes for the Rogue.
Rogues the Blob. So the ability will not trigger again. This is Anarchy here. Will Gregor take this? He should win. I mean, it's still going to be 15 power.
Oh, it hits the Blob!
It still hits the Blob, so he takes over the mid and the right.
Oh my.
The Gambit comes down.
And it hits the Rogue!
It's the Rogue for the win!
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Bro!
Holy.
Wow.
Just the most aggressive game we have seen so far this tournament. Helkin, an absolute madman. Snapping turn one, going for crazy 50-50s. Anarchy.
Helkin, by the way, was the winner of the prelim tournament in the Kingdom. So he was the #1 seed from the Kingdom going into this, facing the Dark Hawk Tua, Watu Wayne Brady in the finals now. Holy moly.
Wow. And battle of two absolute mad lads here. We've got a player running Uatu. We've got a player first turn snapping every single game. Is he going to keep that up in the finals? We will have to find out soon enough. I need a drink after that. My God. Jeez. So we're going to go and kick it to a break here before we get into the finals. Before we do, though, just a reminder, guys, we are giving away season passes and untapped premium subscriptions. To get in those giveaways, use hashtag PWRON, PWRON, and drop those badges in chat while you're at it, too. We'll be back after this break.
Are you the Hip Squad?
No.
Captain Marvel jumping to the left.
Are you guys ready?
You guys are fancy.
Yes. Oh my.
That's 3 strikes already. Team Yellow wins Snapperty.
He has gone undefeated in the ring.
Taking us back home with me, ladies and gentlemen.
That created a very interesting meta.
It's going to be epic. We got some awesome competitors here. +1. Misty Knight going to the
Misty Knight
right.
goes right. Gets him over the
Gonna win
top.
it.
And Rocco Sacco wins it in an amazing final game.
Rocco Sacco is your SnapCon 2023 champion.
Hey, yo, we are back and we are heading into the finals. Oh my goodness, this has been literally the definition of anarchy, with
Anarchy.
the grand finals being Helkin and Watu Wayne Brady. Oh my goodness, Parry, this is crazy, isn't it?
It's been nothing short of anarchy here, Tuccrr. It has been so entertaining to watch. I hope you all at home watching have been enjoying this as much as we are. This has been such a delight to get to see these games live and cast to you guys. An absolute pleasure.
And I think we have another giveaway to be handing out, you guys. We are going to be giving away more Untapped Premium and another season pass if you guys do #PWROn.
Yes, we're going to be doing the Untapped Premium Pass first. And just like that, Solid Snake 86XX, you have won. Congratulations. It is #PWRON if you want to get in here to win these prizes. We'll be doing one more giveaway before the stream is over after the finals here. So we also have another Season Pass giveaway coming up as well. Congrats to Solid Snake there. And there you go. Our other winner there is F Moo. You have won the Season Pass. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Moo.
Moo.
Moo _.
Yes, indeed. So there you go. We're going to be getting into this final match here. It's been a hell of a victory, or a hell of a climb for these players getting here. Helkin, turn 1 snapping his way to the finals, starting against Sal in the top 16. And here we go. We're going to get right into it. Starting with a fist bump, we're seeing Brady's side of the screen, so we get to see what wonderful Uatu value he gets. Will Helkin continue with the turn 1 snap, or will he take it?
There it is.
Answering me immediately. The turn 1 snap remains. The hidden location there on the right is Eternity Range, so not huge value, and unfortunately for Brady, he does get that Uatu in the starting hand.
This is going to be interesting. I think the turn 1 snap is actually valid here with the Loki in hand and with the Quinjet on Onslaught Citadel. Will this be an immediate road by Brady to get the Quinjet?
Quinjet value through the roof here, but don't be sleeping on the Super Scroll either. Super Scroll could go pretty crazy. The Onslaught Citadel is going to be a massive location for both players. We're hearing the
Squad still a little light.
Get that turned down on the production side from the chat, and we have Quinjet being rogued here by Brady. So No more cost reduction for you. But a Gladiator and Nick Fury being taken advantage of there from the cost reduction on he had it.
And we get a blob draw from Nick Fury for Helkin. With Rogue being taken care of, does Helkin think it's just going to be Shang-Chi's his only nemesis now? This is going to be very interesting. The mind games just with the immediate Rogue going into what Helkin just drew and the Super Scroll is going to be very, very interesting.
Well, Super Scroll just gives that Quinjet right back to Helkin there. So the Quinjet trading sides, now both players having access to that extra cost reduction from Onslaught Citadel. The Rogue also being used on the Quinjet means the Darkhawk is a bit safer than it was before. But the Nowhere is also going to be a huge location and protecting. No on-reveals happening there.
Blob goes down far right, gives some immediate value for Helkin.
Tempo Storm out in the middle lane. No on-reveal ability. Brady with the Shang-Chi in hand and a U.S. agent as well. But Helkin top-decking the Rogue here, looking in prime position to deal with Darkhawk if it happens to show up. Brady working with a whole lot of nothing in terms of power right now. Looks like he might be banking on a final turn Cersei. Looks like that's what he's setting up for here. Going for the Shang-Chi early to take out the Blob. And Helkin looking like considering Loki? Nope, instead goes for Spectrum.
Knowledge is
US agent left is going to be so dirty.
US
Oh
agent.
my gosh.
I didn't even think about that. The US agent getting stolen by the Super Scroll. Huge negative value on the left side for Helkin, but he top decks the Darkhawk.
Oh my goodness.
Giga value on the Darkhawk with Onslaught Citadel. Brady with priority here. Not a whole lot he can do. The Absorbing Man on the Shang-Chi would have helped him if he threw Prio. But the U.S. agent here.
On the Darkhawk, though, does not sound like oh my gosh.
But Brady retreats. Yeah, the Darkhawk, I mean, it still would have been massive. Even minus 16 on the Onslaught Citadel, it just would have been too big. Unfortunately for Brady there, going into that final turn with Parry on to the next round.
Minus 16, but then the Darkhawk doubles.
Yeah, he would have been like 50-something still, probably. Yeah. All right, Brady knows he's getting an extra 5 energy on turn 3 because of the Project Pegasus.
Does Makari go to Gamma Lab? Get some extra Makari value?
Let's see. The Mirage steals.
Steals Makari. Okay. Wow.
Neither Makari landing in Gamma Lab. Also getting the buff from Panopticon for an 8 power. That's a pretty damn good pull there on the Mirage. A free 8 power just like that.
Another turn 1 snap by Helkin. Ooh.
It looks like Helkin's going to be committing to this turn 1 snap till the bitter end here.
The intel also by doing the Beast into Mirage here.
Yep, could potentially wind up stealing the Rogue if he goes for the Mirage here. That would be some incredible value on this Mirage. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Brady has no reason to play out this Rogue just yet. But he's going to swap it away with a Loki. So with priority... Oh, wow. What is the Mirage going to get here?
Ooh.
Valentina instead. So smart Loki from Brady. The Mirage steals the Valentina. Not a huge loss. 3 Hulks to 2 on Helkin's side. And the Quinjet coming down as well.
Wow, both people draw Ultron. That's actually pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. two ARISHEM Ultrons here from the same draw. Brady with the Blob in hand.
Ooh. Yeah. I like this. Like, we're talking about Anarchy, like this tournament, people with cube management, cube equity, and then it gets thrown all out the window as we come into the last round of the semifinals and into this with the Helkin turn 1 snapping. What is happening?
Helkin has no time for your plays. He is ready to go. He doesn't want to be late to dinner. A 1-7 Valentina here on the middle location. APOC, pretty bad draw. Revert APOC nerf, by the way. Blob going up to 17 power. So again, Brady taking priority here. Helkin, just these immediate end turns. It's nuts. I'm flabbergasted.
He did just top deck Leech, and that actually is huge.
Leech
in
is
this
going to
match.
turn off the Rogue here for Brady.
And the Ultron.
The Nomura not getting a ton of value, just +5 on the Makari. Let's see what the Valentina gives. Orca, not terrible. But the Ultron getting hit here is big. The final turn, Uatu. What a bad top deck for Brady, unfortunately. Now, I don't know if there's a way around this for Brady. He might be forced to retreat here again. The Ultron would have been big if he was able to get that extra value there. Probably Ultron left might have been the play. But Helkin with not a whole lot going here either. That Leech was huge. Although, it could have been... I mean, the Ultron, yeah. Taking out the Ultron was definitely the most benefit there on the Leech. That 3-2 Doom is huge for Helkin here.
Let's see.
Is Brady going to stick this out for 4? I don't know if this is going to be enough. He's adding 10, 12 mid. He's adding 4 left. He's winning right. But Helkin can play so many cards here with the Quinjet, the Valentina discount. I don't know.
It's a better play there by Brady, though.
Throwing mid. Going for the right. Does he have enough power left here?
Doom rules all.
He wins right, and he wins left by 1! Brady takes it for 4 cubes. Huge.
Victory.
Very
The
good reconsider
smart-
there.
I believe he also would have won mid if he kept his original play, though.
Yeah,
he had
one
the,
mid and
So Brady had it. Good play, winning by 1 on that left lane. Huge. Will this force Helkin to reconsider these turn 1 snaps, or is he just going to... Nope.
Nope.
Opponent
Oh my word.
Lake Hell is there, so Brady knows the play is 1-drops on the right side. Bast, not great here. It doesn't hurt the Darkhawk, it does hurt the Stature, but it is plus power on that right location. And a Baron Mordo coming down from Helkin here. Let's see what it hits. Okay. Blue Marvel getting hit. Not the end of the world there. Problem is Brady doesn't have a play until turn 4 right now. Helkin smartly not playing the Pixie. Definitely not worth playing that card under any circumstances.
Oh my gosh. No immediate value for the card either right now on curve.
Nope. Not on turn 3 either. Goes for the Beta Ray Bill here. Man, Brady's hand is rough. All these expensive cards, but he is finally able to start playing the game. What is he going to wind up going with? Darkhawk, Devil Dino, or the Gigamesh here?
2 of these cards are rogue and mysticable.
They sure are. That's, I think, why he's opting to go for the Gilgamesh instead. Trying to avoid... He does go Pixie. He plays the Trash Pixie on turn 4. Interesting play here from Helkin.
Clear for takeoff.
Oh, wow. Hold
Huge
up.
top deck here from Helkin with the Absorbing Man. Rough top deck for Brady with the Arishem. Helkin is kind of just chilling right now, waiting to see... Nope, he does go Absman here instead. Actually reconsidering his plays, taking a bit of time compared to the normal immediate turn ending. Brady, of course, taking his time, trying to think through all the moves here.
It's throwing out cards for power right now, looks like.
Just stats, another Pixie hit here. Will we see any sort of value on this card? Brady with priority going into the final turn. A Rogue Mystique here. Taskmaster, the final draw, and Blob for Brady. So this is a dangerous situation here. All counters on deck. But the only card eligible to be rogued right now is Blue Marvel. It's going to come down to where both players play their stuff. I don't know what I would do here if I was Brady. He can only play one card, which is pretty rough. He is winning 2 lanes. If he's anticipating a rogue, he might be better off just playing the ARISHEM left, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think ARISHEM left.
He has to go for the left lane to at least get value on the blue marble. Helkin does.
Helkin has to play left, and I think he may have to play middle or right. I don't know. I think this is just a great lineup for Helkin. Even though his draws have been bad himself, keeping the rogue and Mystique for this play here is really solid for him.
Yep, not having priority here is huge for Helkin. Being able to play those cards to get the buffs from the Blarvel might make the difference here. Rogue into Mystique. I think he's going to have enough mid with the Mystique by 1. No, it's tied mid, and Brady takes it again with the tiebreaker difference, the Darkhawk right. Wow. Great play there by Brady. Up to 8-2 on the final match here of the tournament. Helkin hanging on to his last 2 cubes.
Does he still turn 1 snap with the last 2 cubes?
I think he's got to at this point. You've committed to the bit this long. You can't be chickening out now, but it looks like he is. No turn 1 snap here from Helkin, hanging on to that final cube. Just kidding. Oh no, Brady with the turn 1 snap, forcing the agenda here. He said, "You want to turn 1 snap me? Let's go." Locked in for 2. The final location is Murder World, so there could be some value here. Brady risking it, throwing the Polaris into mid, but it does slide to the left, dodging the Murder World.
Never punished.
Never punished for the knowledge. Knowledge is power, as Spectrum says. Helkin still just playing like he's playing speed chess over here. Immediate decision-making. Dracula Taskmaster from the Coulson. Brady with an excellent hand here. Darkhawk, Taskmaster, Loki, Shang-Chi. Options aplenty. Great hand here from Helkin too with the Blob and the Taskmaster. And the Darkhawk coming down for both players here. Helkin's a bit stronger, but does not have the benefit of moving because of New York. Brady going for the Taskmaster here, copying the Darkhawk.
Taskmaster on Taskmaster here.
Yep, both players juicing these big stats. Brady with the Shang-Chi in hand. And a final top deck for Leech. This could be it, folks. What is Brady going to do? He's only able to play 1 card.
My goodness.
It looks like Helkin's going for Blob here. And Brady, with all the real estate here, all the cube equity, he's able to take his time, control the pace of the match. No cards being moved, I don't think.
That's a smarter play.
He can dodge this, though. And he does.
Oh, my gosh.
He dodges the Shang-Chi and blobs mid, and Helkin stays alive.
Wow.
The Shang-Chi left was the play. He mixed it up at the final second there and cost himself 2 cubes. Helkin staying alive.
Soul Reaps, like literally, so like back-to-back 50-50 games. You can expect nothing less in the grand finals over here.
Nothing less at all. Both players playing absolutely wild here. Damn good play from Helkin. Dodging the Shang-Chi. Brady starting to do some mind games here, emoting this location. Great hand here for Helkin as well. Blob, Rogue, Absman, Quinjet. Claws, even some damn good value here. Brady with the Cosmo, the Cersei, the Taskmaster, definitely looking rough on his end.
Oh my goodness.
And this is really all it comes down to, is who gets the draws. There's a world where Helkin can just get draws the next 3 games here and wind up bringing this all the way back.
He plays the Claw into the Quinjet over there, so it's a 50-50 for the ongoing.
Yep, smart move to mitigate the Rogue, potentially. Brady with Warpath. He's got Some options here.
I like the Taskmaster.
Another 10 stats, nothing to sneeze at. But in Shang-Chi range, Magneto sliding the Warpath over, trying to get some disruption there on the Strange Academy. Good play there from Helkin with the Magneto. Top deck's Darkhawk. Wow, he is in prime position to win this game with the Blob, Darkhawk, Rogue, Absman. All set here. Looking rough for Brady on this one.
No Shang-Chi in sight at the moment.
No Shang-Chi, no Prio for Brady, so he can't Cosmo the Blob. What is he trying to do here? Getting some decent value out of the Cosmoed Swordmaster, but compared to what Helkin's going to be able to put on the board this game, it's just not going to be enough. So Blob will be sitting tight on that left location. He won't move from the Strange Academy. Let's see where these cards wind up. Okay, Brady with priority here going into this final turn. Top deck's Blink. So Blink would move the Swordmaster, but if he was hoping for a Shang-Chi or something, it would be behind Cosmo. I think it's the only play Brady's got here. I think Helkin's just going to take this, though. The big old Hawk.
Ooh.
Yep.
We got ourselves a nail biter.
We're at the edge of our seats here. Helkin bringing this back, down 8 cubes to 2, all because of a missed 50-50 on the Shang-Chi last round.
Ooh.
All right, Helkin with a pretty rough hand, but he does have the Loki to bail himself out, and Brady does as well. I didn't see that location. Did you, Tuccrr?
It's gonna be draw 2 cards. Is it Olympia? That's the. Oh my gosh!
Oh, another Nexus game, just like we had in the semifinals. Helkin with the Nexus.
Gosh.
Or Brady with the Nexus, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it was Brady with the Nexus. He played the Thanos instead of.
Yes, on the leader play against C. Crazy game from earlier. There's the
my
draw
gosh.
2 cards. Both hands fully stacked for
Both
a Loki
go for
play.
Loki?
Yeah, Brady, I think, is probably best off going for a Loki here, hoping to get a Blob or a Darkhawk, because neither of them with great cards in their hand right now.
Oh, this is crazy. Silver border on the Loki, by the way.
It's a good use of your borders if you guys have not used them. Loki, because it transforms all the cards that have the same border. And look at that. Helkin with a God Loki here. A Darkhawk, a Taskmaster, a Shang-Chi, a Cosmo. Brady with a Leech, though, and a Blob and a Shang-Chi and a Mystique and an Absman.
Oh my goodness.
So he gets the Darkhawk down. The Leech comes. Goodbye, Shang. Goodbye, Taskmaster.
So it's just always Cosmo middle.
Yes, Helkin definitely needs to drop the Cosmo mid with priority here. Brady's going to have a hard time winning mid without Blob. He doesn't have Darkhawk in hand. He's not going to be able to get rid of that Darkhawk. This could be going to the final game here, Tuccrr.
Oh my goodness.
He might have to Loki again.
If there's one thing I have seen that could happen, if we do get a random Scarlet Witch, or not Scarlet Witch, if we get like Quake would be the only way I could see this really turning.
A Quake would be huge. He has to play the Shang-Chi mid, but there is indeed the Cosmo blocking that, adding the ARISHEM for some extra power here. Brady Loki's one more time. He gets the Darkhawk, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to overcome what Helkin already has here. No location control. The max power Brady could put out here is 33 power. I'm sorry, he has more energy than that. I forgot about the cost reduction on Loki. So he's able to do 38. I don't think this is going to be enough.
Oh my, this Sasquatch!
A random Sasquatch making an appearance here. Nothing to change the Nexus. That's not going to be enough. We're going down to the final round, Tuccrr.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my.
Kingdom versus PWROn. Final 2 cubes. Helkin battling all the way back down to just 2 cubes against Brady's 8. A bad Quicksilver here for Brady. A very bad hand.
Oh!
But he saves it here with a top decked blob. What was that location, by the way? I missed it.
I didn't know. I didn't see that location. I just know what Helkin's playing.
This is Anarchy, folks.
Gosh.
Pure chaos. The Duck coming down. Best card in the game, Howard the Duck. Helkin will be able to see all the
my
future
gosh.
draws
Right on
here.
time.
But the Nocturne.
Nocturne value can go pretty crazy here, especially with Luke's bar. Brady's going to have a hard time winning that. Some rough draws here with Quicksilver and Domino. The 1-2 combo. What is this final location? Lemuria. A great top deck here from Helkin with the Agent Coulson. Just root here for Brady. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and he plays off.
Oh, another bad top deck here for Brady with Howard the Duck. All he has is a blob and a prayer right now. The only thing going for him here is Helkin doesn't have much power either. How is he going to win mid, though?
A miracle. Oh,
It's going to be a priority game as well because the Nocturne's going to move and transform the middle location. So Brady could anticipate that and play mid. If he thinks the Nocturne's going to go mid, the Coulson gets Ghost Rider and Gilgamesh here. Some decent power now for Helkin. Brady with the blob mystique might be able to do it.
Wow.
Right, a 19 power blob. That's substantial. Brady with priority here in the final turn.
Draws a rock.
He draws a rock from the Lechugia. Helkin with just the Shang-Chi right. Is he going to move the Nocturne? Brady now has to think. The mind games here. I mean, I feel like he has to move the Nocturne because Brady's winning mid, right?
Yeah, he does.
Brady should take all the time here. Helkin wasting no time whatsoever. His mashed potatoes are getting cold. He moves the Nocturne mid. He goes for the Shang-Chi right. But is it going to be enough? The Quicksilver Domino Howard?
He's got a Coulson there, too.
There's the Shang-Chi. There is the Agent Coulson, and that's it.
Wow.
Helkin takes it with the dramatic comeback. Turn one, snapping his way to the championship.
Holy moly, let's go, Helkin. What a great performance. The comeback king, we can say, representing the kingdom, pulling through. Absolutely fantastic matchup by both competitors. Either way, we have Watu Brady doing an absolutely amazing job with his soul reads, and then Helkin, like you said, the absolute anarchist, snapping on turn one every game, getting the title of King of Anarchy.
The kingdom's own Helkin crowned our first ARISHEM Anarchy winner. Congratulations to all competitors. Excellent showings by everybody. Pure hype matches. Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Oh my word.
So we're going to be doing another giveaway here before the end of the stream. We have another untapped premium subscription to give out. So guys, if you want to get in that, hashtag PWRON, PWRON. Can we get some shout outs for PWRON, by the way? What a great showing by the PWRON gaming team. We have Super Tech God, the boss man himself, behind the scenes, running the show. Excellent job to you, Super Tech, on producing this event. We had a wonderful time here. We're going to be doing this giveaway in just a moment as well. Tuccrr, hats off to you, my friend. I'm not actually taking my hat off, but it was an absolute pleasure casting with you. So fun. So many incredible games. What a wild event.
Yo, thank you so much for casting it with me, Perry. I'm glad we were able to make this happen, and I think it just went super smoothly for like the first time doing something as like big as this, and it really felt big. It was big. I just felt like it was a great opportunity to just showcase some of these new cards, and I think this is something that we could do going forward to add some more hype to the competitive scene, to allow more people to put their face on Marvel Snap, and it just is incredible that it was content creators as well as viewers, just the whole community coming together and duking it out for Anarchy.
Absolutely. And congrats to Johnny B. Good, another PWROn homie there, winning the Untapped Premium giveaway. Congrats to you, Johnny. Absolutely. Guys, if you want to be involved in events like these in the future, I highly recommend you join the Kingdom Discord. That was where Helkin was able to battle his way from the qualifiers all the way to the winner of the tournament. So how can we find the Kingdom, Tuccrr?
I have a Discord link in my link tree, or I can post a Discord link right now if you guys would like to join the Kingdom's Discord. I'll go ahead
Let's
and
get that in
post
chat
that.
for all the viewers out there. Chat, what did you guys think? Did you have a fun time watching this incredible event? I hope you all did. It was incredible. Pure anarchy. You really can't describe it any other way. Absolute anarchy. There's the link there for the Discord in chat. Make sure you guys join the Kingdom if you want a chance to be featured in one of these tournaments in the future.
That was freaking crazy. I love just it. Literally, we did not know what was going to happen each game because of how just random ARISHEM is. And like, I don't know, it was awesome. And I think, like you said, it was just, I'm so grateful for all the people involved. You for casting with me, Perry. We got
Always.
freaking Super Tech God behind the scenes. All of the competitors, by the way, thank you so much, Miss Wolf, Not My Dance, Lokester, Dragon, Gregor, C, White Wayne Brady, Sal, Helkin, Lil Robitussin, Nick the Greek Geek, Chaos Pro, Sino, PWROn, Loopy Fist. Thank you guys so much for participating and allowing this to happen, taking time out of your guys' days. It really means a lot. You guys have been absolutely incredible, and it was just great vibes all around.
Great vibes all around. Great competition. So much fun. We will definitely be doing more future events like this in the future. If you want to see something a little less on the anarchy side, next Friday, the 12th, we have a live Marvel Snap tournament in Brooklyn, New York City, where we're going to be having a bunch of your favorite content creators, including myself, who will be casting once again alongside the likes of IFC Yipes, legend in the fighting game community and Marvel Snap community, Sino Montana, STG, Super Tech God, as well as a bunch of other PWROn members making it out there. If you want to join, !Brooklan, that is BROOKLAN, Parry can spell, and you'll get more information on that event. We will be also running SnapCon. If you guys want more information about SnapCon, it is !Snapcon to get the link there. Purchase your tickets. Lots of fun events planned this August for SnapCon.
That was freaking blast. Thank you guys. Yeah, once again.
Alrighty, folks. We're going to be raiding into PWROn's own Gregor here. So if you want more Marvel Snap action, stick around, make some noise for Gregor. Tell him he did a great job in his matches, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we look forward to seeing you at the next event.